We are live.
Ooh.
Greetings, everyone. As this happens with live streams, we lost a host right before the show. I guess he's sick, so no Adam, and that kind of puts a kink in our plans.
Yeah, because I wanted to hear his stories. He said he had some
with the ghost stories. So we'll talk about it for a little while, and then we'll move on to something else. But the subject we had planned on, can't really do it. Sorry.
As well thought out, at least.
Yes.
Yeah. So what you could do is give us your ghost stories. I'll give you a couple of mine. Garrett's got one, and then we could talk about what they could possibly be. I can get into that discussion.
Yeah, I have theories too.
Yeah, I do too. Because it's one of those things where it's not my strongest subject. I'm way more into UFOs and ancient civilizations than ghosts. And I think ghosts got watered down with all those stupid effing ghost shows, which were just frauds and dumb.
The ghost hunting where they're just show us you're here. And then they listen to it and it's like.
And it's a producer on the roof scratching. Yeah, because which the Tap show got busted doing.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or the whole show leading up, they did get a legit movement of a chair or something like that, but a whole season led up to that. And that's rad,
Yeah. But having a TV show kind of makes an incubator for them to just hype everything up like that and then start making scenarios where there's voices in the distance and there's walls scratching and stuff. And it's like, it doesn't necessarily happen.
And I mean, ghosts can be also, I suppose, spirits, because you see those people who are mediums or talk to things. Is that necessarily a ghost or
a demon?
A demon? Who knows?
Don't know. We'll talk about exorcisms too, but no, I've had some weird experiences. So I think there's definitely something there. Is it piercing the veil, between worlds, dimensions, possibly shadow people, possibly, absolutely, machine elves could be. I don't know.
Demons, possibly.
Is it your brain chemistry just getting just right to tune into the signal to see something that's always there? That's sure.
Is it our little monkey lizard brains just seeing things off the corner of our eyes and going, danger, danger? What is it? And then we interpret that as spirits or some otherworldly thing. There's a lot of that as well. A lot of old stories kind of seep into our brain, and then we interpret that in the reality, and we make it real.
Yeah, there's definitely things that have happened to me where I'm like, okay, there's something to this. I have no idea what it is though.
Yeah,
and I'm not even close to figuring it out. But
internet gas.
Internet gas. Internet gas.
It was.
No, I'm do we live past death? I think my belief would be that we just go back into the quote unquote matrix. We go back to
energy.
We go back to the mainframe. Right? That's what I think we do.
Yeah, so I'm a Christian.
Right.
I believe
Could
that
be wrong.
There was a creator, and I don't know the nature of that creator. So I don't have a definitive, I know where we go after we die, but I do. I mean, even scientifically, when we die, we return back to
the earth.
And we return back into energy.
I think could be a thing too, for sure.
Well, I mean, that's what's happening. You're getting turned back into matter, and then that matter is dispersing again, and then that matter inevitably will be remade into something else.
Yes.
What does that mean? Nobody knows.
It's a circle of life.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll never figure it out. But
and is there essences of other matter that's been dispersed over the millions of years that we've existed?
Well, there's definitely there has to be. Okay, so there's the people who get in car accidents, right? They have a brain injury and they wake up and they can speak Chinese.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What is that?
How does your brain just automatically know how to do that if there isn't some kind of record? We're all, to sound super hippie, connected and just not aware of it.
It's like it's like a mycelium network. We're all connected, man, on another level. And maybe sometimes we tap into that and we see other
It's not bogus. How about the
aspects.
4-year-olds who wake up and they can play, or 4-year-olds who can play like Chopin? You know, it's like that. No, that shit's real.
It actually
Actually
happens.
has
It's very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the stories of people going into a coma, waking up and speaking like 3 other languages, are not remembering who they were
It's
before,
super
and now
rare,
they're somebody
but it's
completely
happened.
different.
Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
very strange.
It is weird. And it's unexplainable. And they just go, well, it's just the brain chemistry. Okay, where did it get the information from, though? Did it just like you got a knock on your noggin, and you can now communicate with a billion people.
Yeah,
So
it's very strange.
Don't we have access to like 10% of our brain?
they say that's not true. I don't know.
I think it's you're at any given time you're accessing 10% of your brain. It's not like one section of your brain and the rest is just dormant. It's like you're only able to access 10% at
I
one
think
time.
that might be true for some people on Twitter in particular. But,
That's very possible.
yes, very possible. But for the rest of us, yeah, I'm not really sure how that works.
Yeah.
Not sure how that works, but yeah, I've been told that's wrong. I don't know. I don't think we use it to its full capacity, though. I think that's the whole point of it, is we don't use it to its full capacity. We're still a long way from doing that. Because then we could like move shit with our minds and stuff.
And
maybe there was a time humans could do that. You don't know. We don't know, but yeah, no Adam Crigler today. What's up, Quarter Black?
What's up, man? Not much, just being here on this show, ready to talk about some ghosts. The chat suggested it, and I did. I went out and got it. Tales from the Grid Square, and I've been reading. I read the first chapter or so of it.
Okay,
this is
LeBron,
really cool.
You got past the first page.
I read. I can read.
So
but it's really cool. It's got a lot of really cool little
about?
stories. So it's stories from veterans that they went on tour in the Middle East, different tours. They have different. Actually, I think there's Vietnam stories too and stuff. So it's just a veteran's perspective of paranormal instances. There's a story of a sniper that they were protecting this grid, and this guy was walking up, and they determined it was a hostile. Took him down, shot him. The guy watched the guy go down. They went out to go retrieve, intel, see who he was. No body, and there was nowhere for him to crawl off to. Then he told his another battalion that was there before. They said, "Hey, this weird thing happened." They were hanging out, all talking about swapping stories, and they said, "Oh, this thing happened. I was over there watching this road," and then that sniper also said he had the same situation happen to him. So it's cool little stories like that. I don't know how real they are, if they're really from people, because they don't say their names or who they really were. But it's really cool. It's a lot of cool little stories.
That's awesome. Well,
thank you, chat, for suggesting it. It was really cool.
Yeah, we're trying to be subject based, and we want to get guests. That'll help the most. But we're mostly going to wing it today. We could talk about the San Antonio ghost tracks. We're going to talk about those because I
don't know about those. I need you to tell me about those.
Oh, I will tell you about those.
That'll be exciting.
Charleston's best haunted ghost walking tours. There's tons of ghost walking tours everywhere. I did the Jack the Ripper walking tour in London. It was the shit. It was so cool.
I want to do that.
Well, I didn't know, because I was dumb. I'm still dumb, by the way. That there's London and the city of London. They're two different things. So there's a London within London.
Okay.
A smaller one, which is
like New York. In New York.
Well, no, it's there's the city of London, then there's London, right? Chat
like the OG London,
like the OG London,
area,
which are two different jurisdictions, I believe. And a lot of it happened in the old area. So there's one place that's still there where one of the murders happens. It's still a structure, and it was, man, he shows all the pictures. It's freaking horrible. What they did, what that guy did to these women. I believe
they still haven't found him. They keep
every
year. I feel like there's another story.
The American Doctor or the Butcher.
H.H. Holmes.
Yeah,
was a theory.
Yeah,
that was that's a crazy story too. H.H. Holmes. and it lines up kind of the same time period. He came over to Chicago, opened up it's a different MO though.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
That was a cool Babylon 5 episode with Jack the Ripper. And it
What?
plays, yeah. It's
Ooh.
freaking brilliant.
I
It's
gotta
so
watch it
good.
now.
You gotta watch Babylon 5. It's good. It's good. I'm all into Star Trek now though. I'm watching
I see that.
stuff.
I like that.
I like that.
Communicator.
This was sent to me. Some nice.
Is that like a screen used, like a costume piece?
There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Bluetooth communicator badge.
So it's real.
Yeah.
So you can actually like connect.
use
Oh, that's pretty
it.
cool. I mean, even though your phone really does a million times better than a communicator, but you know.
No, I want to go. Garrett.
Yeah.
Beam me up.
So good.
Beam me up to Dallas.
Oh,
Did you
that'd be
get to
so
see
nice.
Graham Nolan?
I did. I went and talked to Grant Nolan. It was awesome.
How was it?
He's cool. He's a cool dude. He was telling me about it, and he was like, not a lot of people came up to him because they were just there for like knickknacks and stuff, and they just didn't. I'm like, man, the legend sitting right here.
Yeah, they got to get the word out. It's up to the cons.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all the people looking. It's collectors. They don't give a shit about comic book creators. They're like, give me the variant.
That's stuff. And there was like maybe two booths that had actual comic books. It was a lot of Funko Pops.
Oh,
Surprise there.
But yeah, it was cool. I met a lot of people came up to me. I was gonna buy tickets, and the guy that was like doing all of the tickets, he just gave me a badge. He said, "Hey, I got you, bro." I was like, "Dude, thank you." So that was cool. And while I was talking to Graham, somebody came up to me and knew me from Friday Night Tights and was like, "Oh, is Gary gonna be here? He's not gonna be here." Sucks.
I was working.
Yeah.
I was working.
Let's go.
I'm still working. I was working right up till we started this on our next top 5. So I got I just finished number 4. So we got the intro 5 and 4 done.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Nice.
the Perry's working on them. They're not done. My part is done.
I can't wait.
What's up, Camelot? How's it going, dude? I see him in the chat. I had zero
I saw
stomach
you
problems.
Drink that nasty crap.
Zero. I am fine. My body.
What is in it? Okay, it's fight milk, right? What is
fight
it?
milk? Well, it's milk. Well, okay, so there's milk, but I used almond milk because I hate milk, and I don't like soy milk either. And then he said 3 eggs. My son put 4 in, and then I think he puts a little whiskey in, give it a little zinger.
Yeah.
I did not.
That sounds nasty.
And you just got to drink it as fast as possible. Yeah,
Called
and
fight milk?
it's called
Yeah.
fight milk, and then it's separate, right? So the eggs are like at the bottom, separated from.
So you
the
drink
milk.
the
So I
milk.
drink the milk,
and
it's fine, and then you feel the eggs go down. You
Raw egg. Bleh.
raw eggs, and I haven't drank raw.
You don't even get
eggs
to mix it up. Mix the yolk in?
No, do
Just
not mix it
straight,
up.
yeah.
That was
Even
the
more gross, I
instructions.
think.
I think that would be better.
Yeah, it was
I
not.
feel
It
like
didn't
it'd be better.
taste good, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. You know,
So is it supposed to
That's what
prepare
she
you
said.
for a fight?
maybe Camelot could probably. I never got that.
Yeah, get your
explanation.
testosterone levels going crazy because
so
it's trying to fight off
drink
all
it.
that stuff.
Okay, cool.
No, you should.
I don't want no testosterone up there.
Maybe. Hi, X-Ray Girl. How's it going?
Hello, I'm excited for this topic. It was funny when Garrett was talking. I saw from the corner of my eye, and some of the chat I saw you saw. I got freaked out because the door opened. We were just talking about ghosts.
was it one of your dogs?
They
Please tell
didn't
me it was one of your
know.
dogs. Okay, thank God.
And so you saw a little Rocky come in eventually, but I'm like
Well, I will tell you
on edge.
that if you guys remember, I was in a house that I rented in San Diego. It was actually in Escondido for a year while we were preparing our house in San Francisco for sale. So we just rented this fabulous house for a little while, where an old lady lived in it in a wheelchair for years and years and years, and all the door frames had like huge dents in them from her wheelchair.
Oh,
So
did she pass away in the?
I had fucking action figures, and not just like, you know, because it was super temporary. I had to repaint the whole room, so you can't see them now. But these are little blue squares that are all over my wall,
Just like mine.
They're made of foam, so you can easily stick the action figures on them, and it also soundproofs. So I just did this temporary 3M double-sided tape thing, which mostly worked unless it got really effing hot. So like entire sections would come down. But once I fixed that problem, I just randomly, one little action figure would always fly off the fucking wall. Like,
oh
always.
no.
She's like, get
It
these
wasn't
action
the same
figures out
one
of
all
our
the
house.
time, but it was. It's not one that was kind of falling, and it didn't fall straight. It was launched,
Just like off the
and
wall.
it happened like 15 times. I mentioned it on streams. I'm like, this is weird. Like every
wonder if
time I walk
they're-
in here, there's an action figure on the floor, and then there's ones flying off like while I'm live.
I remember that. I've seen
Yeah.
that.
I'm like, that is
So strange.
No.
weird.
That
And
is freaky.
it is, and it's not like this was a rickety wooden house. This was a house kind of it's made, it's like an earthquake house. It's not brick. It was made of adobe. It's a house
What is
made
it?
of
So it's like-
adobe.
is that
Yeah,
like-
a brick adobe house? So it's really cool in the summer. You know, it's like, yeah, it's like this weird
Earth
custom-
insulated.
So and like even when we did have that big earthquake like a week before I left, barely felt it in that house. No action figures fell down. So that was
Wow.
weird. And then
That is freaky.
I told the ghost cat story, which is like legit the weirdest one, because at the time in 2003 we were traveling and Melissa had two of her big gay boy friends come in and do Venetian plaster. It's like faux plaster on your wall. So it's fake, but it makes it feel like it's real plaster on your wall. And they're doing our house while we're gone, and our cats were in the cat hotel. Our dogs were in the dog hotel. There was no animals there. But I told you in right outside my in-law office, that was downstairs in the garage, which was like my OG. That's where I did my, if you ever listen to the Doctor Who stuff, that's where I did it. There was cat paws in the foundation. So the house was built in 1910. The house was built in 1910. So while they were laying the foundation, a cat walked across that back in 1910 or
Yeah.
something. So is it the same cat? Not sure. But we kept on seeing, like Melissa and I kept on seeing a cat that was not our cat in the house all the time, like at the corner of our eye. The other cats saw the cat. We're like, what the hell? Once it happened, like for the 20th time, we started going, okay, man, it's not my imagination.
It's
But the
still
worst,
happening.
yeah. So while we're gone, we get a phone call from Otis. He's passed away now, but rest in peace, Otis. Otis calls, and he said, "Yeah, you guys, we saw your cat when we came in." And Melissa's like, "Nope, you can't. Our cats are in the our cats are in the hotel." Oh no, we saw a cat. We saw a full cat, and they're like, and that's what Melissa told him. No, that's our ghost cat.
That's the ghost
And
cat.
they freaked out. They freaked out a little bit.
Oh.
But they called us out of the blue. So that's what I'm like, okay, that shit's real. Whatever it is,
There's
it's
something
real.
happening.
And then,
It's not just you
Ghost
guys.
Cat like went away after about 10 years. Ghost Cat, I guess, found peace, went into the light, and never came back.
That's good
It
for the
was
ghost
weird.
cat.
Ghost Cat.
I think there's something about animals in the paranormal like that. I had one of my stories. It's not even really my story because I don't remember it because I was so young at the time. My parents always told me this story. So my grandmother passed away when I was 2 or 3. We moved into her house. Big Mama is her name. And she really liked me. She loved little boys, so she loved me a lot. And we moved into her house. And I would, after she passed away, I would be talking to Big Mama. I say, "Hey, Big Mama." There you were. Like I was talking to her, and she's like, "Big Mama's gone." Like at first she thought, "Oh, he's talking to this Big Mama, and she's not really here. He's in the house." And I was like, "No, Big Mama's right there behind the chair that my dad was sitting in." And he's like, "Okay, this is kind of weird." Then we had a dog at the time, and the dog would never go down the hallway towards her room. Just would never go down. Like would bark. Just stayed in one half of the house. Never went in there. Then my dad woke up in the middle of the night and saw her at the foot of the bed. But he said that it didn't feel like it was her. It looked like her, but it didn't feel like her. So we pretty much moved into the house and then moved out of the house because right out. But there was something about that, and the dog would also bark at that same corner, that corner that had the chair in it, where I said, "Big Mama's right there." So there's something about I hear young kids and babies,
dogs for
and
sure,
dogs and
no, but your
animals
dad
can
saying,
see something like
your
that.
dad saying it didn't feel like her makes me think that maybe it was like a poltergeist or something else manifesting and just tapping into the brain, and that's how the brain interprets it.
Yeah.
Which is one of my theories. Is there is something there? There definitely is something there.
Yeah, because like this, your story, multiple people. It's not just one person telling a story to somebody else, and then they are seeing the same thing. It's separate people seeing a cat, and somebody comes in. Now they're seeing a cat, and there's something happening. I don't know what it is. Is it ghost?
The lower part of our house in San Francisco was creepy. Like it was like it was built. It was such a. It was an afterthought. The garage, because garages were small back then, or they were just storage for your carriage, not really your car. So I had to duck my head down. It was only like 5'6" space, so you have to duck your head down. Yeah. Comics division would have been fine down there.
It's my place.
Yeah. But it was like legit creepy, and I wish I could find the video of I'm forgetting the acronym now. It's been so long. The sound we got on recording of a voice down there.
It's not EMF.
It's not EMF. It is electronic voice.
EVP.
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 So I would be down there jamming on my bass. And Logan, I watched Logan while Melissa was at work. So Logan would come down and listen to me play my bass. He'd try to, play along on the desk with drums, or he'd like shake a can of pennies or something. So that's what he was doing. I had this little can of pennies, and he was just shaking it along with me playing my bass. So we were like, and he liked it when we videoed it. So I had the webcam on, and we're playing. So I go back and play it again, and right with and the shaking of the pennies is rattling. Okay, it is just really, I was into my bass playing, but man, it would probably annoy the shit out of any ghost. And when he's done, a really deep voice goes, "Quiet." And I'm like, that was not me. God. So I checked. I'm like, is that me just, hitting the fret, going up a string, anything? God. And I played it for, if anybody's out there in the chat from the comic shop guys, days, I played it in the comic shop to my friend Bill, to everything.
That is
and they
creepy.
All went, it was shit. On the recording.
Yeah. It's the only time I ever heard it. Like the only time ever, like, it's not like I saw ghosts down there or doors opened or anything like that, but that was the only time I'm like, holy shit.
Now, what if it's somebody on the other side of a dimension that's just in the same position that is like hearing some weird sound, and they're like, "Quiet."
Pennies. I'm like in the afterlife resting. Child, quiet.
I'm trying to sleep.
I just want peace and quiet here. Oh my goodness.
I have it on like I have like 3 or 4 external drives that just died. That I can have repaired, the power supply. It's on one of those. I mean, I've had them for like 7 years and I haven't had them repaired, but I could, and I'll probably find that video. But
gotta do that.
I would
put it up
on
Facebook lots of years ago. Good luck finding it, but
I never found it. I never had an EVP, but when I used to work at a movie theater, I was a projectionist up there. And the projection booth is dark because you have the open windows where the projectors are, and you can't just have lights, right? So it'd be shining into the theater. So it's always dark, kind of like this. It's pretty low lit, just a light every once in a while. So you would see stuff, and there was always stories of people going, "Oh, there's the ghost. The ghost in the theater is Eddie. His name's Eddie. He died whenever they were creating it was a 10 theater movie theater, and then they added on 4 more theaters. So it was a whole add-on area, and supposedly this construction worker fell whenever they were building it, and he died. And that was the story. I don't know if this was him, but we had 14 theaters, and interestingly enough, by 13 was the one that we had the most issues. It was 13 and 6 on the very opposite ends of the building. I was threading up the projector, and if you know what these old projectors, it's like a projector housing where you see it actually projecting out, and then next to it there's a platter with the film on it, and there's a little V cut in between it. So I was threading up the head of the projector not the head of the projector, the head of the platter, and then I moved to go around to the other side of the projector where the head was, and my radio just went and I was like, what the heck? And I walked back in the area and then it would leave. And then I took it off. And I was like, and I went through like 3-dimensional space and found there was this orb of space where it was just going off. It would just make my radio go off. And then it went like this. And then went into the ceiling. Like I couldn't find it more here, and then I found it up here, and then I found it, and and then it went away. Now, orbs, weird. Outside of 13, right across the hall, was a bathroom. And you'd go up there, you go to the bathroom. Multiple times, I saw a shape, not a person, like a shadowy shape. In that, like you'd walk right out of the door and it would be right there in that corner. Multiple times. It was the weirdest experience I'd ever had. And all these things happen up there, and maybe it's just my brain because it's like this creepy, I'm alone all the time because nobody's up there. You know, I'm a projectionist, so they're not thinking about me. I'm up here alone. I'm walking through these empty hallways. There's always sound. You know, projectors. I was looking down at my pad, going, okay, what do I need to thread up next? I'm walking, and I see somebody pass me, and you know, it happens. You know, managers are walking past, doing whatever, back and forth every once in a while. So I didn't think anything of it. But you're supposed to be like, okay, hey, check and make sure it's not just some random person or an employee that shouldn't be up there. So I'm looking at my drop sheet, and I'm checking off stuff, and I see this person walk past me, and I turn, and they're not there. And I'm in the middle of a hallway. There's not other places for them to go. It's a long hallway with projectors on each side. And I'm in the middle of that hallway walking through. And they pass me. I turn around. They're gone. Nobody there. I was like, all right, I got to go downstairs. I got to go do something else. Because it was just... And I described the person to the manager. I was like, hey, did a employee go upstairs? It was a short, like kind of stocky shaped person. And I thought maybe it was a new employee because I knew the employees pretty well. And I was like, this is not somebody I saw before. And I went to him and I was like, hey, do you have a new employee starting today or something? They went up in the manager's area, up in the projection. Nope. Nobody knew. Nobody I've ever seen before. Just gone. That was the weirdest situation. And I was like,
okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for the two of you, actually. They say that if you're open to ghosts, they'll more likely reach out to you. Do you feel like you yourself are open to ghosts? Because I keep myself closed mentally, and I have never really had an instance personally of having a ghost story that I can remember. But do you guys open yourselves up? Are you okay?
I've only ever had situations where I was thinking like it could have been, you know, like the stories I was told, there's ghosts in the area, and we always joke about ghosts, and then weird things would happen. So I think that's also an aspect of your brain filling in gaps. I was talking to you about this before. Like we have the lizard brain where you're seeing peripheral stuff, and your brain goes, look at that. What is that? Is it danger? What could that be? So if you're already on like a little bit of a openness to the idea, then your brain fills that in, and you go, oh, some kind of weird situation. Like
trying to rationalize.
I was opening up the bathroom. It's projector 13, so my brain goes, some weird
thing. It's not a matter if you're open to it. Maybe that's an aspect of it, but I just think some people can see them and some people can't. Just like there's smarter people, there's dumber people, there's people who are more intuitive and people who aren't. And I think if you're, intuitive, empath, whatever terms you want to use, I think that opens you up to connect, because I still think it's like almost think of it as a radio, right? And you're just tuning in to something that's there. We've already determined, it's hard to get my head around, but we've determined that there are other dimensions based on our funky math.
Yeah.
And why not? So if they're occupying the same space, but we're not seeing them. We're walking right through them every day. And there might be 4-dimensional beings that we can't even conceive or something like that, or, super intelligent shades of the color blue. Not really sure. But I think, there has been too many stories for them all to be bullshit. So it's the same thing with UFOs. Like, the vast majority of UFO sightings can be explained. They are mistakes. They are balloons. They are not swamp gas. So that's complete bullshit. But they are a weather phenomenon. But there are 5% that are legit, that are absolutely legit. And all it needs to be is 1%. All it needs to be is one to be legit, for it to be the biggest story in the fucking world. And I go back to Dennis Fravor on UFOs. Ghosts. The exorcism stories are pretty. If that's a mental illness, it's a mental illness that in some cases can make you read fucking minds, which is weird.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird. Also, again, my experience at the La Paloma. I was at, it was after Rocky Horror. We were under the stage. That's where the backstage is as you go behind the screen. So imagine an old 1920s theater. You got the seats, and then there's a stage that's it's not on the floor. It's a stage. It's a proper stage. And then the screen's behind it. And then you go behind the curtains and you go downstairs under the stage. And there's a little place. There's a little place for makeup, costumes, mirrors, all that stuff. And we're down there hanging out. Somebody walks across the stage. Like, all 4 of us heard it. And we're like, oh, it's Chris, it's JD, it's whatever. So it's our friends so I woke up and I'm like, guys, come on. Just come out.
Stop
you want to come
messing
down?
with me.
Stop fucking with this. I mean, haha, but nah, just stop it. Go back down, happens again, go up. I check. I know all the passages. There is secret passages. This place was built in 20s. So, there was always little secret passages where people go get fucking drunk and stuff. There's a big back door to another street. It's a huge building. I just go through the whole damn thing, and there's no way anybody could hide on my 3rd time checking. Like, first, second time you can get by me, sure. 3rd time checking, all of us were out there looking around. We didn't see anything. So we go down again. It fucking happens again. It happens like 5 times. There is clearly a do across, until we just said, okay. And we went to the taco shop across the street. We're like, fuck this.
No more. That could be like you're saying, parallel universes. If there are so many universes, right? It could be a person that died in your universe that is alive in a different one, and some crossover is happening, and it's affecting your universe, and you're hearing what would be there if they were walking across, because they are in a different universe.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many explanations that I find are really interesting, like the universes theory, like energy theory, like ghosts are interesting. Demons, fucking, I believe demons are fucking real. Like interdimensional demons, stuff's real. Like, can you see all the evil things that happen? Like, it's got to be demons, man. Like, there's too many evil things. You watch a lot of like true crime, and what some people, how their brains work. I feel like it's got to be possession. Like Ted Bundy. The way he explained empathy was not like how a human explains empathy. He was just he he saw empathy as, I can't remember the exact quote, but he saw it as enslavement. Like it's a construct that humans have and that I have the privilege of not having. I was like, that is not normal. That's not a human's thought. I feel like at some point you have to be like, wait, I know I'm doing bad stuff. I'm the bad guy, right? But he did not. So there's got to be some kind of overlap like that. And like you were saying, that the possessions, a lot of them, I know a lot of them do sound like crap, but they're like those, like you said, the 5% sound legit. They are saying things, they're reading minds, they're speaking other languages they should not be able to speak. There's something to that.
Yeah, there is. There is. I'm looking up an old article to find out. There was always the urban legend that somebody died at the La Paloma Theater, which had been going around since as long as I was there. And I'm trying to find an article.
Like X-ray, like what you were saying, opening your mind to something like that. Like that's why you don't fuck with Ouija boards.
Oh
because
yeah,
you're opening yourself up to a side of demons that before you're just another person on the earth that they could target. But once you start going, hey, why don't you come here and speak to me?
Talk to me.
No. And they did a lot of those the seances where they're like, I want to talk to Elvis. Bring Elvis here. And Elvis is talking to me. That's not Elvis, man. That's something else. That's Beelzebub, dude.
Yeah.
Not into that. I don't even like when we were playing that Phasmophobia and they had a Ouija board in there.
Phasmophobia? Nope. I don't like touching
playing
that
digitally.
thing. Nope. Because you never know what's going to happen. And I mean, things can also stick to you, right? Once you open yourself and then they follow you around. Yeah. Who knows?
That's what the Warrens, because I was watching a short documentary about the Warrens before. They didn't believe any of the hauntings or poltergeist or any of that. They didn't think it was ghosts. They believed it was demons.
Oh.
They're demonologists. So they were like, Annabelle, that's not the little girl from... That's what they named it because a little girl died in that area. But that's not the little girl. That's a demon pretending to be that little girl and manipulating people and causing harm in the now and in today's world. So that's what they were going around and investigating was demonology, which is kind of cool. I want to learn more about them outside of the movies because the movies hyping it up and make it fantastical, which is cool for a movie. But I want to learn about them.
The real life stuff.
Well, I can have you guys go over the homework I gave Adam, Art Bell, and the exorcisms that he talks about. It's pretty trippy. I'm blanking on the why. Maybe because I'm just in nerd mode right now.
Yeah.
It was Father. God dang it! Hang on. I'll find it. If my internet wants to work.
Like, the story of Amityville?
Malachi Martin.
I was going to say Malachi as a joke, but I think maybe it's just somewhere in my
Father
brain
Malachi Martin,
remembered it. It was like, it's not a joke.
His death was very mysterious, but like he was an exorcist for the Catholic Church. And he went on Art Bell and talked about exorcism and I was kind of like at the time, I'm like, demons? I don't know. After listening to him, I'm like, okay, maybe there's something. They're definitely something. Because there are some creepy stories. And he was on Art Bell like right up until the day he died again, which was really mysterious. But there's hours of Art Bell on YouTube and Father Malachi Martin. And
I'm going to have to look into this.
Oh, it's creepy. It's good.
But I don't want to
really
do it tonight.
It's really, really good.
Turn the lights off.
No, because hospitals are known for some ghosts, and I've heard ghost stories.
I think
that makes sense.
And I'm too scared to watch that tonight. Around so many ghosts.
Close my mind back off.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I used to get like creeped out, but like even when I was in the house in San Diego, and I was there alone for most of it, just without the family or anything. They were like going back and forth to Wisconsin and stuff. So I was there alone. I wasn't creeped out at all. I was like, whatever. What's the old lady in a ghost wheelchair going to do to me? But
demon old lady.
Yeah, I've stayed the night out in the woods and shit. Like it's I've been in like abandoned homes to sleep because out of necessity. Just never got creeped out by that shit. It's like whatever. But doesn't mean I don't think something. The thing that made me start believing, like truly believing, and going from like full on atheist to agnostic, at least at the time, was my dad was dying of cancer. He was in hospice at home. It was, it was the end. And I was there the night before, and just hanging out with him. He couldn't even talk to me. He was so morphined out, like he wasn't even really there. But then I went home, got a call that he passed away. Oh, shit. Okay, so went back up to help my mom and my sister, and he had been dead for a couple hours. We get a phone call. His mom, my grandma, who was healthy, as healthy, she was old, healthy as can be. I get this call. We get a call that she died 2 hours ago. So my dad's mom, who had nothing wrong with her, died pretty much at the same time my dad died. Wow. So once that happened, I was like, shit, that's not just that's beyond a coincidence. That is so astronomically impossible that it is not a coincidence. So she just waited for him. Wow. And then amongst all the chaos of like getting the ambulance there and doing all this, and trying to comfort your mom and sister and trying to comfort myself and all that stuff. I was like, it was like a moment of clarity, like within all that like it was okay, Yeah. So after that happened, I was way more open to believing other stuff. I think being such a brutal cynic,
There's definitely something to us being connected. Yep. You hear stories about that all the time. My grandfather passed away, and then my grandmother passed away a year later, because they were so connected to each other and dependent on each other that you get to that age and you go, okay, well, you're gone, so I'm going to go too. You hear a lot of stories like that.
Well, I think once the kids are okay, once the kids are okay, the kids are going to be okay. You're like,
right. You go, okay,
peace out.
I feel like your story is almost complete in a sense. Like you did what you needed.
Yep.
And my purpose was to be with you after our kids are, grown up, and
we made it.
It's hard to live without your person when your person passes.
Like my grandma was tough as fucking nails. Okay. She's from she lived through the Depression. She lost her husband with 2 toddler children and a fucking farm. A doctor on a basic leg surgery, cut her fucking tendon in half, and she lost the use of her legs. So she was crippled.
Wow.
And she did it. She pulled it off. House with no electricity or heating, in South Dakota. People have no concept now. So many fucking pussies out there. But they have she was so fucking tough. But for her to, for that to happen at the same time was just too weird and cool. The idea of it was cool. Sorry, I was like, that's pretty cool. I wasn't happy that my grandma was dead, but it just felt right. And plus, she was pretty old. So
she was like, I made it
this far.
How long were they together for?
What? Well, no, this was my dad's mom.
Oh, dad's mom. Oh, sorry.
Her son.
Oh my God, got them mixed up.
It's mom and son
together.
Okay.
Mom and son, and they were super tight. They weren't like estranged. They were super, super tight. Called his mom every other day. We went there and visited all the time. Roscoe, South Dakota is where
that's insane.
Grandma B was. All right, the Grizzly has given us $50. Thank you. That for a drive about 8 hours. Anyway, me and Mike this is part 2 or 3. Hang on, Grizz. I gotta.
Do you want me to read the first part?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I can go to I was just reading them on.
Okay. There's 3 parts in total for 200 total.
Jesus. Grizzly.
Mhm.
Grizzly. And I'll get to yours, Buford, right after that. Okay.
Buford.
I can highlight it in red. There you go.
Justice. There you go. The Grizzly for $200. My goodness.
Grizzly.
So here's the last ghost story I have that I haven't shared on my chats. My other ghost stories I've told on Razorfist stream, but this one I have the least explanation for. My family were on a trip to Gettysburg. We're a few states north in Michigan, so it wasn't that far of a drive, about 8 hours away from me. My cousin, we'll call Rich, we're taking photos and looking at the ghost story landmarks, ghost reenactors, etc. We get back in my uncle's car and driving back to the hotel to the navigation guides through the Memory Memorial Cemetery. Rich pulls out the flip phone and shows me a picture of a ghost orb with a screaming face in it, but that's the end of it. We saw from my uncle's back seat a glowing green light that looked like a horse carriage. Holy shit. Is this around Gettysburg?
I want to go there.
Yeah, I've heard there's tons of crazy shit around. Well, because a lot of fucking people died.
Yeah.
The Civil War. There's a lot of creepy shit in like Louisiana, San Francisco, pretty creepy. But like our stuff isn't old. Like the UK people are like,
Yeah.
Got a lot more
you
rich culture.
silly new Americans.
We have New England, okay? It's oldish.
Well, we have a good explanation now. Thanks to Randall Carlson, like half of our country was completely wiped out.
Yeah.
Just completely wiped
More people
out.
would have been here.
Yeah. There was civilizations wiped off the face of the earth twice. Once by a natural calamity and, once by manifest destiny. But it is what it is. I saw somebody tweet today. What was fucking stupid. It was basically it was the tweet about the indigenous people didn't have laws against homosexuality and people were afraid to do what they want, and everybody just clowned this dude. It's like and there wasn't any laws against abortions, and you want to just tell that guy, do you know what the tribes did to each other?
There's not a lot of time for
any
that.
Idea. So there was raiding parties because they didn't know there was no agriculture. So basically they were like Vikings. Some tribes were like Vikings. I mean, that's what the Romans did too. They went and conquered. They did agriculture too, but that's part of their economy. So there was raiding parties. That's how they got shit. That's how they ate. That's how they got shit.
And they enslaved each other.
And when they enslaved each other, they enslaved the healthy enough ones, the big enough ones. The babies, they killed. They killed all the babies because they were too small, couldn't take them with you. Sometimes they were killed by the people who were being attacked because they were too small and you couldn't take them with you. It was necessity back then. It was necessity. You're living off the land. You're trying to survive. I doubt they were thinking about pronouns. I'm just saying they weren't thinking about pronouns. I'm sure there was all kinds of diddling going on. But I don't think it was there was no laws against it. You're technically right.
One of the things that
there was no time for it.
Blew my mind because I didn't know this. Nobody ever tells you these things. So you know what the Trail of Tears was? The Trail of Tears was all of the tribes being moved from wherever they are indigenous to their area to the reservations. They called it the Trail of Tears. They told stories about it. I was reading up on it. And it wasn't just Indians that were moving. It was Indians and their slaves. They had black slaves. The Indians had their own slaves. And I was like, what? Why have I never heard this? It was like last year when I heard this for the first time. I was like, Indians own slaves?
They don't teach it in school.
They don't teach it in school. And Razorfist likes to point it out every Juneteenth that, well, actually, there was a lot of slavery after that. On the reservations.
Yeah.
So,
So, it's all silly. It's silly pretending that any group of people are better or worse than any other group of people.
You know, it's an interesting place that could, I think that there's been a lot of investigation at Skinwalker Ranch. And it's hard to put your finger on what the fuck it is. Is it a ghost story? Is it a UFO story? Is it a cryptid story? Is it
nexus
a
of
portal? Is it
paranormal
a
activity.
nexus of where dimensions like bleed in? Is it a rip in the space-time continuum? Is there a giant spaceship buried 100 meters down that, you know, that's creating magnetic anomalies? But what we do know is something really freaking weird is going on. It might have a perfectly reasonable scientific explanation someday. Because the magnetic anomalies exist, although I can't say it, but they exist. They are a thing.
Yeah.
You know, and usually that could be from a meteorite, that could be from certain ores in our crust. Like there's scientific
Radiation messing with people's brains or something like.
Yeah, lots of scientific.
Or they found that there's particles that fly through space that are going through us right now. You can't see them. So, like, what if there's another particle out there that's just doing weird stuff it's getting sucked into that?
What creates clouds? Cosmic rays.
Really?
Yeah, cosmic rays.
Wow.
So, cosmic rays are hitting our fucking planet all the time. It's our atmosphere saves us from just being boiled to death by radiation all the time. Neutrinos. But it, like, I think it's fascinating. Like everything they find, like at least with Skinwalker Ranch, they got on film like an orb floating around the fucking trees.
Weird.
That was weird. And then,
and we know that's something that can happen. That is
the UAPs that show
scientific fact.
They're weird magnetic anomalies. So I think it's something that is just scrambling humans' brains to where we're starting to see shit. So there's something there, be it scientific or whatever, that's scrambling our brains and making or what I mean by humans, to where you see crazy shit. But then there's the story of that giant fucking dog that had witnesses and everything that came up and was trying to get their calf. You hear about this stuff? So this giant fucking dog, and they said it's huge. So they tries to get a calf from the farmer, and you know, at first it looked friendly, so they weren't tripping on it, right? It was just big. Then it just puts its mouth around the calf's neck, trying to pull it out of the corral. So the owner fucking shoots it with a big fucking, I think it's an 06 or something big. Something fucking big, where a big chunk of 30-06, yeah, it's a big chunk of flesh comes off this fucking thing, and it doesn't move. It doesn't even move. It stays on so they go up and shoot it again, and shoot it again, and shoot it again, and it finally walks away. One of the owner's kids, the ranch owner's kids, picks up the piece of flesh that the dog left behind, and he said it looked dead. It looked decayed, and the dog just walked off, never to be seen again. And it's not the first story. So it wouldn't be a chupacabra.
That's like a little creature.
What they were some of the
man bear pig.
Some of the man bear pig. That's what it was. No, basically what they're saying is that they've had instances where they've seen animals. Some are not indigenous to the area, where footprints just stop. So they're saying interdimensional stuff. Like that's what they're saying, that there might be portals,
giant dogs.
Well, it could be dire wolves. It could be dire wolves from the past. It could be a dead dire. Like who fucking knows?
Stranger Things.
But there's also like, dude, the weirdest one. What they have video of is the cows ending up in that storage locker.
What,
dude? Oh, you didn't. You need to watch.
I have not watched the show.
You've got to watch the Skinwalker Ranch. So like, when I first heard Skinwalker Ranch, guys, I'm like, I love the idea of this. This would make a great horror film, and it still would make a great script. I know somebody's tried it, but like, no, like if you get a legit filmmaker to do Skinwalker Ranch, that could be like
how they did with The Conjuring.
Yeah, like they could be a legit horror film. There's so many concepts there that are like at least great for storytelling. If you're a writer, I would be listening to this stuff all the time because you can get tons of ideas. But There is there was the sightings of anthropomorphic dog. I didn't say that right, but dogs standing up,
anthropomorphic,
smoking cigarettes. So that to me is somebody saw something and their brain just couldn't figure it out.
It was like uncalculable. The brain was just like,
there's
dogs
also,
smoking cigarettes. That's the closest I can get.
The people who were sleeping there kept on hearing a language that wasn't a language, like it was coming from their room, but nobody's there, and they keep hearing it. They keep hearing noises and stuff. So there's poltergeist activity, there's UFO activity, there's cryptid activity. It's nuts. It's a nutty fucking place. So Bob Bigelow, a billionaire, bought the place, and our government, our tax money went into doing a massive investigation that is classified to this day. They brought in real scientists, and they did interview them for a documentary. And these scientists said these legit, like, straight up atheist fucking, like, scientists,
unbiased, trying to debunk it.
Well, I mean, even biased in their own in academia.
Oh yeah, the opposite
you know what I mean?
Way, yeah.
They're academics. They were like, I don't know what it is, but there's something going on.
Oh, that's weird.
We can't pin it down. It's almost like it's playing with us. But these are like guys who don't believe in fucking ghosts, don't believe in fucking UFOs or anything, and they walked away from this place going, yeah, there's something there. We just don't know what it is, and we can't talk about what we do know.
We gotta go.
So, and at the end of the documentary, it's by Jeremy Corbell, by the way. He at the end of the documentary, he interviews the new owner of Skinwalker, who was a mystery, but we find out it's that Brandon Frugal guy who owns it now, and they do the TV show, which premieres again in like a month.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's like been way like open book, cameras are on all the time. You can I'm a fucking geek, so I joined their little fan club so I can like watch their cams like at night.
Oh, like they have like live,
yeah, they got live cams there.
Trail
it's fucking
cams?
great. I haven't seen anything, but why not? But
yeah,
they're pretty open about it, and they're starting to find weird things. Like they've been drilling into the to the cliff side, and they did find a rare metal that was clearly made.
So an alloy in the
alloy,
stone,
but there's two different alloys on each side. And when they broke it down, when they did the chemical analysis, and they got it, by the way, they have a NASA scientist engineer who currently works at NASA on missions. And we saw him at Ancient Aliens, Travis guy, the blonde guy. So they do the chemical analysis, and they're like, when this broken down is everything we use in modern aircraft, including something else that we don't know.
Some other material.
Yeah. So they dug it like feet within, like lots within this like a butte.
Is it like a vein of it, or is it just
no? It's like it's broken off. It's like really old, and it's broken off of something that was made. And they're like, what the hell is it doing, buried, about 10 feet into the side of a cliff? And it's not a massive cliff, like I said, it's like a little butte. Yeah. It's weird. It's fucking weird. And they have this like dead spot above the ranch, where they send up this looks like a fun job. They have a bunch of rockets they've been sending up to test like radiation. I can't remember now, but like all their equipment just goes dead once it hits this little place about 1,000 feet above the ranch. All their shit just goes wonky. So there's something there.
Weird, man.
There's something there. Season 2's the best. It's a fun watch, man. I don't know
where can you watch this? Is it on Netflix?
It's on Prime Video.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Well, I don't know what it originally. It's like a History Network thing. But
on Roku, it's a channel. History Channel, Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah,
and there's also a Jeremy Corbell documentary that I highly recommend you watch, which is on Prime Video.
Ooh,
no, we're gonna cover it when the season comes back. We're gonna definitely cover it, and we're also gonna go back.
First 2 seasons, right?
There's 3.
There's 3.
No,
there's
season
3 and
four's-
season 4's coming out.
Premieres next
Okay.
month.
Wow.
I didn't say anything. Remember, I asked the guy, I'm like, you guys are coming back, right?
Yeah.
He's all, yeah, in April. I'm all, fuck yeah. So
They haven't like advertised that at all.
no, but we're gonna cover that. We're also gonna go back to cover like Ancient Apocalypse. What we're good, I think like once a month we'll hit an episode and do like a deep dive on.
Well, we got to get a
something.
certain guest on. Like we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Relevant.
Well, I think. Well, I mean, has Adam talked to him? If not, I will. I'll just invite him on. You talked to? Okay, yeah, our producer. That's right. I forget I have a producer who does that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. I mean, it's worth thinking about. Even at like, I think ultimately for 99% of the stuff, you get a legit scientific explanation, which could be just as weird. You know,
I would
like,
love that.
yeah.
That's I would be fascinated if they could find an explanation for these things, because they are so abnormal. That could give us insight to other things, or other ways to create technology. If we could figure out how they, like ball lightning, how do we harness ball lightning? How do we create ball lightning like that? What is that phenomenon? Like, we need to figure that out. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, why in the fuck is there ball lightning? I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
Do you?
Make an engine out of a ball lightning orb or
7-day
something.
trial for History Channel for Amazon Prime. Yeah, there you go.
There
And
you
just
go.
binge it on because you can always binge after it premieres weekly. But watch it. I fucking love it. It's just an entertaining reality show because it moves quick. It doesn't like it still does a lot of dicking around and stuff, but at least like, you know, they go and get the big equipment to drill. And I'm a dude, so I like big equipment that drills. I do.
Big farming equipment, big tools. You
When
ever
I was
see the
driving to
giant
Lubbock,
rock truck? It's massive. It's like 5 stories tall.
Dude,
It's rad.
that's what I was talking. I was driving to Lubbock, and there was a place where all that big shit is stored, and
Everything's
I
bigger in Texas.
Dude, I saw a thingamajig, a chingadera that was 3 stories high. It had a fucking elevator to the cockpit to where you drive this thing, and the wheels were as big as a fucking
awesome.
house. I'm like, whoa, I want to drive that so bad.
It's got like a little Tonka truck sticker on it.
Yep. I think it was the biggest thing I ever seen.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it was huge. But you forget, like here in Texas, we were driving home and we thought we were driving by a town.
Victor, my God.
We thought we were driving by a town, and my wife goes, "Oh no, that's oil fields." And I'm like,
"Oh yeah."
And at night, you're like,
West Texas.
That's as big as this city. Like, it's just huge. It's fucking massive.
And they'll have like 3 of them. Like, they're everywhere.
It looks like an effing city, and no, it's just oil wells and the freaking torch and all that stuff for miles. So that's cool. I'm getting off subject, but Skinwalker Ranch. One of my favorite subjects, hardest to pin down. I think there's definitely something going on there though. And at first I was, like I told you, at first I just liked the idea of it. Didn't really believe it. But now, like, it's legit creepy. It's a pretty creepy. And then there's the whole Native American stories that say, oh no, shit's been happening here for hundreds of years. And they found petroglyphs there.
That's my thing with all paranormal stuff and how academia just throws it in the trash. I'm like, I want to know the scientific reasoning for it. Somebody legit go out and look at it. Stop just going, oh, this is woo-woo, it's stupid, whatever.
Well,
like, figure it out. I want to know.
There was the Utes, and who's the other Indian tribe there? I can't remember. There was Utes and another Indian tribe, and they were peaceful at first. Then they went to war. And the one that lost sent the Skinwalker after the guys who won, basically. So that's where the whole Skinwalker Ranch, yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. They were enslaving each other too. The Utes, not the Utes, not the, oh, I love the youths. The youths.
Just bands
like
of youths.
Like the Utah. Utah's trippy, dude. It's also cold up there. Melissa's uncle has a big old fucking ranch up there. I want to go over there, hang out.
Utah's big.
It's big.
Empty. And
not
beautiful.
As big as not as big and empty as Texas on the west side, dude.
Yeah, West Texas is freaking big and empty. That's where I'm from originally, West Texas.
The big empty?
The big empties, we call it. Big deserty empties.
Where were you born?
Austin, but then we moved to West Texas. My parents, my mom and dad. Yeah, you know. It wasn't quite as bad, okay, back when then. It was just hippies smoking weed. My parents were from West Texas. They moved to Austin, and then they moved back.
All right.
West Texas is great.
I love
Good
Texas.
people.
I was just listening to Adam Carolla's story about why he moved to Texas. He had a friend trying to talk him into it. He's like, I don't know. So he visited Austin. He was at some meetup for his podcast. You know, there was 30 people there, and some woman, I guess, spilled her purse and panties fell out and a gun. And he's all
nice.
Maybe Texas is cool. And he moved there. He's all, and then I moved there 3 weeks later. I'm like,
yep.
That's an interesting purse.
Yep. Hey, you never know when you got to change your drawers. Okay. If I walked around, if I was a chick and I had a purse, I'd have a spare pair of socks, undies, because you could carry them.
You got a whole pouch.
That shit around. Yeah.
Full of stuff.
Hell yeah. Beef jerky, something like that. Jake D for $20. What's up, Jake D? My Texas brother. Hail Forbidden Frontier. Glad to see y'all keeping on and finding your stride. Really looking forward to watching you keep going with this show. Oh yeah. There will be a time where I can put more time into it too.
Yeah.
When I'm not working on videos. But yeah. I got a lot to do.
Yeah. It's fun to just like sit and talk about this stuff, you know. It's
shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of weird stuff out there, and it's like you talk about what's happening, what you think it could be happening.
I'm gonna watch Skinwalker Ranch tonight.
I fucking want to watch it. I'm gonna open it up right now. So I don't forget.
I'll share my password with you. Just don't go buying shit on Amazon without. I mean, like, well, Melissa will see. So
if it's on Amazon, I have Amazon, right?
I have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I can't remember where I watched it. I'm pretty sure it was there.
And if it's on Hulu, I know people that have Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu. It's on Hulu. I will share my password with you. See, I'm saying it out loud.
We're gonna watch it tonight.
I will share my Hulu password with you.
Is Netflix still doing that thing? Because my Netflix is still working.
I think they back down.
It's still working.
We'll end them overnight if they do that. Poor South America, by the way. Any of our fine people from South America, you got fucked over by. I love how we're now in the South American market, and you're going to be the first people we fuck over. You know,
man.
It's like,
sorry, Dan.
If anybody can afford to, it's fucking Americans. Okay, Americans can buy their own damn passwords. Why are they picking on poor South America?
It's messed up.
Shit.
Pesos lost.
Yep. Buford T. Justice. Hail, Buford T. Justice.
Hail.
Longtime supporter of this channel and many others. We love you.
Man.
Gary, why are we streaming in the dark? I wanted to be creepy and spooky tonight. Yeah. And also, we're going to work on the lighting here soon. But no, I just wanted to be spooky tonight. Dyatlov Pass incident isn't a mystery anymore. Watch a recent documentary called Unknown Compelling Force. Explains the radiation. The tent was not torn apart from the inside. It's pretty extensive investigation. I'll check it out. I will. I will have questions.
Telling me about that
because I know this thing up and down because it's an old story. This is an old story that made it out of communist Russia. So whatever it is, it fucks some young people up pretty bad.
They were saying it's radiation, maybe radiation messing with their brains, made them run out into the freezing cold and strip all their clothes off.
That's what was one of the theories.
Fight each other, maybe.
It was that there was either radiation experiment or something else. I mean, like,
and they didn't find the bodies until like a week later, right?
Yeah,
so that would explain why there's no eyes and the tongue's gone, because like birds come in and eat their eyes and whatnot, because that's usually what they go for first.
But some people were like crushed. That's the thing.
Yeah, the chest,
the missing tongues and stuff. It's the
chest
crushed skulls and stuff like that. That's the weird thing. But everything about it's weird.
Yeah, bears up there,
and you could. It was always part of the story that this could be some. There was some base, some weird experiment, or there is radiation in nature. This thing called uranium.
Well, that is true.
That can kill you. Quantum sledgehammer for $21.18. That's very specific. Says, really love the new show. Look forward to it each week. I find UFOs, conspiracies, and unexplained events fascinating, and explained events. So your topics speak up to my interest. Although I am one of those who's a skeptic, but I want to believe. I'm
that way as well.
I think I might have seen a UFO, but I don't. It could have been a weird government drone. I will give you that. Yeah. It was not a helicopter. It had no wings. It was flying really fucking fast, and it was so close. So that's the weird thing. Like if you do see a UFO, you hear from the UFO witness. There's a lot of credible ones, but the people were like, it was 100 feet away. Imagine being 100 feet away from UFO. That's fucking close.
Really close.
Really close. Like you could see the sun reflection. You could see details in it. It's like that. So I was pretty close. I was quarter of a mile away from this thing because I was driving. And I had to pay attention to my driving, and I couldn't pull over. It was at a point in the freeway where you just couldn't pull over, or I would have. But other than that, no, I ain't seen shit. So, I want to believe too. I was always skeptical about government and conspiracies with secrets that seemed too big to keep. But with all the bullshit going on in the world these days with governments, media, etc., I find it harder and harder to disagree with them more and more weird things. Yeah, that whole too big to keep. I've never thought that way, but I understand why people did. But here's why that's total bullshit. The government is compartmentalized up the yazoo, and it is protected and surrounded by its bureaucracy and incompetence. It is part of the defense. But there are organizations within organizations who know exactly what the fuck they're doing. And they have a tight ship. Trust me. Now, there are people who break off, and I think that's what led to the Tic Tac stuff getting out. And it's, by the way, it's all shut down again. So that openness the government had for like a minute, shut down again, which adds credibility to it. And it was just some breakaway people who were connected to Harry Reid, a politician I don't fucking agree with on most things, but on UFOs, I did. And it sounded like that Harry, as corrupt of a politician as he was, believed in UFOs. Okay. So he did one good thing before he croaked. But, what convinces me about the Tic Tac is Dennis Fravor. That guy is unquestionable. Top Gun pilot, no reason to lie about this bullshit. Has a full career pension,
no reason to say anything.
No reason to do any of this shit. Listen to his any of his interviews. He's super consistent. He's not some fucking fed. He's just a pilot. A really fucking good one. A guy who wanted to engage with it, who tried to fucking engage with it. That's ballsy. And the only one who wasn't rattled. By the way, all the other pilots, including the female pilot, they were so rattled by this thing, they didn't want to talk to people for a long fucking time. And it wasn't until Dennis Fravor came out and others, the radar operator, came out and talked about it. Then
you're saying David. It's David Fravor.
Sorry, did I say Dennis? David Fravor. Once he came out and talked about it, it made it okay for the rest to talk about it. And this is an old story, by the way. I remember hearing about it back 9 years ago. And it just kind of went under the radar. But then when the actual government said yes. And so I think both things can be true. I think this thing is a real event that happened that the government either won't tell us or doesn't know what the answer is. And they were also trying to distract us from something else.
Yeah, it's just an opportunity.
It was just an opportunity.
Yeah, that adds a lot of credibility to it because it's like you're saying, it's a man that has no reason to come out and say this. And like you just said, all of his colleagues that also witnessed it, they didn't come out and say it because they would also be questioned of like, oh, what are you, kook? What are you, crazy? But this man, he's like, I've got no reason. He doesn't benefit from it. He doesn't need this. something happened.
No, like when I was listening to Art Bell, like 1 out of 10 guests I thought was legit. The other ones I thought were full of shit, but they were still fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And I still think that way for most things. I think there's like a handful of guys that like Jeremy Corbell, I can't remember if it's Corbell or Corbell, the documentary maker. A little too Hollywood for me. Way too Hollywood for me, but I understand that you kind of need that guy to make document. And I like his podcast with George Knapp, but it's for George Knapp. Something about Jeremy Corbell, I just little off to me. But doesn't seem like a bad guy. I don't know if he's actually there all for the hunt, all for the cause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. But like Richard Dolan, fuck yeah, like legit dude. George Knapp, legit dude. Absolutely, like one of the most credible. So there's a handful of guys we can trust, and that's the people we should kind of follow around. But even like ones I trusted, like Stephen Bassett, that's no way anymore. I'm blanking on his name now. The ER physician. Who's the ER physician who did the disclosure event back in 2000? Somebody in the chat will help.
Oh, that's right. It was like a crash site.
Stephen Greer. Yeah. I think he's gone off the reservation. I think he's gone off in the woo-woo land. I used to think he was really legit, but now he's like, none of the aliens are bad. And I'm like, I don't know, but like even Richard Dolan goes, I don't think we know enough to be able to say that. We're not saying good or bad. I think the worst part is ambivalent, right? You know, Vogons, like if they need to wipe out our planet for a hyperspace,
yeah, they just do.
They would just do it. They're like, whatever. So yeah, I just don't think we should automatically assume
we don't have that information.
They could wipe us out whenever they want. Maybe they're really patient. Maybe they're figuring things out. Maybe they don't need it now. But I would think if there is different beings out there, no matter what stage of civilization, we can't always assume it's peaceful. Okay.
Well, think about what we do when we went to new lands.
Yep.
We take it over.
What does Graham Hancock
go like, hey,
like
this
to
is
say?
my land now.
What does Graham Hancock like to say? As above, so below.
Right.
Damn straight. So I wouldn't assume that. But Greer is like, he's also Stephen Bassett and Greer are both heavily politicized. Like they start getting into like he'll spend a bunch of time like Trump bashing. And it's like, okay, fine, Trump bash, but no Clinton bashing or Obama bashing, or because that I would bash both of them. I bash every president when it comes to UFOs, although I don't think they know much. But UFOs doesn't belong. It doesn't belong in the political sphere. It's not partisan because it's above partisan. The people who are controlling the information aren't Democrat or Republican. They belong to the government, the fucking party. Like they're way above that.
That's why I think it was so silly when Trump started the space. What is it called? Space Force. And everybody said it was so stupid and silly. I'm like, we are going to space. We just had like 4 different massive rich guys go to space. I think it's reasonable to go, hey, maybe we should have something set up to go to space.
Okay. I have a question,
we have something
Garrett.
Come here and show up. We should probably be ready.
Space Force is so stupid. Did Biden end it when he got into office? No, he didn't. It's the same question I have for Disney. If what Chapek did was so bad, how much of Chapek's stuff has Iger actually undone? He's undone one thing, but he didn't undo the layoffs. He didn't undo any of the restructuring. He undid one thing, and it's basically letting creatives have a little more control over their own budgets. But that was it. One single thing. Is that worth firing a CEO over? So again, if Space Force is so fucking dumb, last time I checked, it's still going on. It's still happening.
Yeah.
Space Marines.
I'd sign up for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome. A little old for that though.
I was always 4 years.
Enzo Crail for $20. I love the new show, Gary. I hope to see you and Garrett at Contact in the Desert. You will. We will be there. We got to buy tickets.
Yes, we will be there.
I'll buy tickets this weekend.
Contact.
I'll buy tickets this weekend.
I've
We
got that on
will
my calendar.
absolutely be there.
There you
I was so stoked. I thought that thing was done forever. But oh, which of us will ask George Nuri what brand of soy sauce he uses in his hair? I will. I will be the person to ask that question. I do not like that dude.
Greasy.
He fucked over John B. Wells so much because John B. Wells was getting better ratings than he was on Saturday. And John B. Wells has like fucking the best radio voice probably since Art Bell, and should have been Art Bell's successor. But now he's on Caravan to Midnight, so go check him out there. Love John B. Wells. And George Knapp does it on Saturday, and his shows are infinitely better than Nori because Nori is Snorri. He doesn't know how to interview. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, but he does play the corporate shill game. So no, not a fan. By the way, that ain't
He's
his
like
hair.
number 1 on the guest list too.
Yeah, that ain't his fucking. Well, it's because he's the gatekeeper. He's the gatekeeper. And what we want to do is take that down. So that's what the goal of this show is like to inspire more shows. So he's not the gatekeeper anymore, and we can start having real conversations because he has no fucking idea what he's just a radio guy. He's just a radio guy who had some semi-paranormal interest, and Art picked him. He picked another guy who didn't work out. And you know, Art had his problems too. Not saying he wasn't retiring every 5 minutes and stuff, but Art was the GOAT. Art was the fucking GOAT. George Nuri is terrible. He's a terrible interviewer. But he also is like really insecure. By the way, that's a wig he's wearing.
100%. I'm looking at the picture right now. That's status.
That
Not
ain't
his
his
true
fucking
hair
hair.
color. That's not his hair.
And like, listen, I'm realistic. He should be realistic. If you're going to try to get away with like some fake hair, like Elon, just get some plugs or something like that. And you got a good enough young face to do it. But when you're his age and you're
you got to embrace it.
Like, fuck it, dude. Who cares? Who gives a shit? That hair ain't making you look any less 65 than you look right now. So what's the problem? Trucker Rob for $20. Gary, by the way, before we start, Contact in the Desert is amazing. If you can go,
I can't wait.
You can afford to go. It's for one, it's in Palm Springs. So Palm Springs is, it's going to be a little hot in June, but Palm Springs is a good time. It's a really chill fucking town. It's really safe, nice hotels, great food. Yeah, it's like, half the population is gay, but that's what makes the food good. And no, it's like a really chill, cool town. It's super clean.
Palm Springs is in the desert.
It's old people and gay people and gay old people, and it's great. It's got a couple good comic stores too. But it's a great town. It's a great town. And it's very like 60s. It's very cool. If you're into like go thrift shopping or collectible shopping, it's a pretty cool place to go. The California desert's weird. It's a weird place. Once you get out of Palm Springs and you start getting into the little towns, it gets very David Lynch out there.
Really?
Johan Naxos for $50. Sleeping over at a girlfriend's. Do you have your own drawer there, Johan? Do you have did you commit to having a toothbrush there? Maybe a pair of socks? Things getting serious. I want to know. It says 4 a.m. Woke up to something rustling in the closet. Next thing I know, pinned to my bed, I see a black mass in my face. Then the mirror turns back on the dresser, and all the pictures on the mirror went flying. Holy shit. Okay, see, something like that happens, and it's not an earthquake. I might have to check my drawers a little bit.
I was thinking night terror at first, because you'll have people imagine that they see something on their chest and stuff, but if there's things moving in your room.
Trucker Rob, back to Trucker Rob for $20. Gary, I'm getting you a gift made. None of that you don't have to nonsense, but you don't have to really. I need you to accept it in advance, but I'm doing it regardless. The only stipulation is that you can't have it until you get your rights back, at which I'm working on. Okay, Trucker Rob. I'll get my rights back.
Trucker Rob's great, man.
Love Trucker Rob.
You love truckers too.
We do.
Okay.
Hayden, 75, 3 parts for $80. I worked on it. I worked as crew at a theater in Texas, in the Texas Panhandle. Auditorium was seating something like 8,000 people. We would see and hear things in there all the time. When there were just a few of us, sometimes we heard talking and could see silhouettes, wild stuff. I opened my mind to a weird side before met some entity while trying to project. It wanted to teach me things. It also crawled on the ceiling. Oh, I described it as a girl I was dating once. I described it to a girl. Okay. Big difference there.
I described it as
To, not as a girl I was dating once. She said she knew it. It was bad.
What? Oh my
I've
God.
got stories I could go on for hours of encounters with the weird, like other side of the veil stuff.
Wow.
The Hat Man scared my ex, her daughter, and my friend. They woke me in a panic, and it was gone.
What's the Hat Man?
That is freaky.
Yeah, what's the Hat Man?
That name's
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, I just with ghosts. I don't know. I'm into the mystery, but I'm not that into I'm like, I acknowledge it exists and I'm interested in sometimes and it's cool, but I'm way more interested in like
Shadow person.
not really what happens after death. I'm more interested in why the fuck we're here. That's and knowing that there's more to life than this. Well, knowing for sure that the system and the state lie to us all the time, and that there's something more, and why are they keeping it from us? That's the interesting part to me. Because people are clearly keeping shit from us. Why are they doing it?
Yeah.
Is it just financial? Is there some big scary mystery out there that they think the public can't handle? I think maybe. But it's no scarier than
that's likely. Is it something that will freak people out to the point where they'll just be like inconsolable? Let's just not tell them. We don't trust the people.
But we like live with shit every day. Yellowstone can pop off any day. A meteor can fall any day and wipe us all out. So we live with that shit all the time. What's the difference between, well, UFOs might have been here before, or there might have been a civilization before? I don't know what the difference is. Hannah G for $50. As someone who is religiously Messianic Jewish, I do believe in spiritual warfare. If you're interested, I have a personal terrifying sleep paralysis story, as well as a few others from myself and my middle sister. Email them. Absolutely email them. Yeah,
crazy.
Hannah, for sure.
Yeah, spiritual warfare. That is
Spiritual warfare is real. It's real.
Sleep paralysis is scary.
Yeah.
Jim Farm for $19.99. QBG has heard of my ghost/demon story. Have you, Jim Farm?
Yeah, we did a live stream where we talked about scary ghost paranormal stories. You tell me about it. I couldn't recite it now.
No,
I don't want to do it disjustice.
Josh Kelsey for $20, just a donation. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Kate for 20 British pounds. That's proper money. If you have not seen it already and enjoy sci-fi comedy, check out Truth Seekers featuring Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. It's lots of fun, but didn't get a lot of coverage when released. Thanks for another great stream. I did hear of that. I will check it out. Even though
I don't remember that.
Pegg. Simon Pegg has turned into the Kevin Smith of
that is so disappointing.
I know.
I'm such a big fan of him.
Crushinator for $100. He's got a story here. I've been using my voice all day. It's starting to go. My dad was a contractor and worked at a funeral home where he bought a cot and slipped in the home. Holy shit.
Oh,
that's ballsy. One night he heard noises behind him and he tried to turn to look. He couldn't move and felt pressure on his shoulders. Then heard a whispering say, whatever you do, do not turn around. That happened in Doctor Who. Toby, don't look at me, Toby. Don't turn around, Toby. Don't look at me.
See, like those
Did
types
he
of
turn
stories.
around?
Oh,
No, he didn't
Oh.
turn around, but he had a bunch of writing on his face. And then he got
Oh my god.
It's a
Those
great
types of
fucking episode.
stories.
If somebody did that to you, if like you felt that, what would you do?
Oh,
Would you
I'd turn around.
I
oh
would
would
turn
you?
around too,
Would
probably.
I
you?
would turn around.
I wouldn't.
I mean, I'd be running, and then I'd do this while I was running.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Those types of waking up and you can't move and you feel something. Like I don't know if I've ever had that happen or it was a dream. But that's
Crushinator.
I've had
Definitely
something like that happen, similar, like a night terror.
yeah.
I've had one of those when I was a kid,
You can't
Oh,
tell.
I had them all the
where your
fucking time. It's
chest
called
feels like it's like
PTSD.
press.
Yeah. But there
That's
is
my
like
wife.
there is your brain does turn your body off because you do twitch in your sleep, but apparently that's like your brain stopping you from moving
Right.
in your awake life versus your brain doing stuff in your dreams. So who knows?
But
Sometimes you can wake up in the
I've
middle of
taken,
that.
a swing at things in my dream, and I end up moving my arm. Like that
Really?
happens.
Yeah.
Depends on where you are with your sleep. But like no, like night terrors. I don't know. It was addiction. When I was like really struggling with it, it felt like I was possessed. It felt like I had no free will at all. But that's part of addiction.
Where you're sitting in your head and you're like, why am I doing this right now?
Yep.
What is
And
happening?
it just felt like I had no free will because
I get that, but it's with fast food, so it's at a different level.
Well, I had like horrible PTSD from prison because like I never slept for 2 hours for 2 years.
I imagine
2.5 years I just didn't sleep. I just slept with one eye open all the time. So it
Yeah.
fucked with my sleeping. So when I got back, I kept on dreaming that I was back there, right? And then I would just pop up with a fucking cold sweat, like, and I was doing that up until Melissa can tell you, I think 2008 or 9, it finally stopped.
Man.
Dude, a long fucking time. So like that stuff can be in your head for sure too. Me so trashed. Oh, by the way, I was going to ask on the previous super chat, Crushinator, what did he do afterwards? Did
Yeah,
he not
I
turn
need to
around?
know.
I need to know.
Come on.
Tell us in the chat. Me so trash for $20. Hey, hosts and fellowship of Forbidden Frontier. I remember Art did a show on the Montauk Project. That is a classic show. And it was an awesome one. You should look it up. Keep the spirit alive. Yes, Art Bell Montauk Project. He did a couple pretty fucking insane. And of course, the Philadelphia Experiment.
Philadelphia Experiment is really cool.
It's very cool. And I think it happened because they found the ship.
They transported
The
halfway
ship,
through the bold.
the ship was sold off to Greece. And when they did, it was lighter. It was a much lighter ship. So, could Einstein and Tesla have worked on a secret project together that could create such energy, such a force of magnetism that could like punch a hole in reality? Sure. Yeah. Tesla was a pretty brilliant guy. So, but the concept of it again is pretty creepy. Like a guy, when the ship disappears and it comes back, like guys are halfway through the wall and stuff.
Because they shifted.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a cool story.
It is a very cool story. I actually, for the comic book that you'll never ever see, one of the origins of one of my characters is he was in the Philadelphia Experiment, but
That's a cool idea.
But he fell in the water, so his character name was Mist. So he was neither here nor there, and he kind of was water vapory.
I like that.
Yep. GJJ for UFOs after they upgraded the radar, $1 billion contract. Yep, UFOs are not our stuff, not working right. Yeah, okay, so the UFO, like, okay, I didn't catch all of that, but we did start seeing stuff when we upgraded our radars, and I think that was I can't remember if that was the 2004 incident or 2000 14 incident 10 years later. But we upgraded our radars and we started seeing a lot more shit. Like, you know.
And then they like distance themselves because they figure out that we're now seeing them. Yeah, that is so weird. I wonder. I feel like the likelihood of them being positive is very low. Like if you're going to spend a lot of energy to go across the galaxy, there's got to be something that they want.
It would be a prime directive.
Maybe they're scientific.
Yeah, no, I truly believe the minute we they have been coming here for years, but the minute we blew up the first atomic bomb, that got their attention. Like they're okay, we need to check on these monkeys.
What's happening over here?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a technological barrier. It's like, oh, we're just stupid monkeys down here, and then we go past this technological barrier, and then they start going.
Maybe
okay,
they're
let's
just
study
us.
these guys.
Well, it's no coincidence that like the sightings went way up after 47. Fucking way up.
Or it's us.
Yeah. Well,
we're out in the galaxy. We're just observing ourselves.
Some of it is us, but you cannot convince. Yes, the military, when it comes to concept, is 20 years ahead of what we are now.
Oh yeah.
But as far as application and things actually fucking working, if we had something like the Tic Tac, Amazon would love that. It could deliver shit instantly. Like, are you fucking kidding me? They would apply that and use it, or we would just, wipe out our enemies with it.
Yeah.
Like, why not? We would rule the world. They would be nothing. I mean, honestly, the Russian, aside from their fucking nukes, their military and the Chinese military is nothing to even our weakened, shitty military right now are fucking nothing. Like, nothing. But if we had that kind of technology, we'd fucking use it. We'd absolutely use it. I mean, tactical nukes used to be like science fiction. Remember when those you were pretty young, but like when I heard that they were using tactical nukes in the first Gulf War, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
We have tactical nukes?
You blow nukes up in the sky?
Old. And I'm like, really? Holy shit. That's
what's so exciting about the last 100 years is that things that seem to be impossible are possible, and what could happen in the next 100 years that could seem like that's ridiculous, and it could be possible. We could figure out a way. It's amazing.
Tahura for $50. I never told anyone this before, but once I woke up in the middle of the night looking up at the ceiling, and I thought I saw a human-shaped shadow. I stared at it for a while. When it came down, I started praying our Father until I thought it was fine. You saw a shadow person. Thank you for the $50.
It's the Hat Man we were talking about earlier.
There you go. My friend William Selby, who is the artist for the first non-movie poster, Star Wars poster. So the first poster that wasn't a movie poster, the first real poster that was just for art for sale. And it's the Cantina Band one from the 70s. You used to be able to, I think it was blinds.com had a picture of it. He didn't get a penny for that. And he designed the film guy for the AMC. So he lives in San Francisco. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, he had a gnarly shadow person story to where like he went on Facebook and called me the next day, and he was sleeping next to his wife, and he thought his wife got up and his wife was still sleeping, and this thing gets up and like walks right out of the door, and he's like sitting up watching it and completely freaked out, just completely to the point where he was so freaked out. I'm like, I believed him, and Bill's sober, by the way, been sober longer than I have. Is a legend when it comes to AA. Jonah Noxos for $20. Gary, I used to do paranormal investigations with said now ex-girlfriend. Sorry about that. That night changed my life. I felt like I was trying to pull my soul out of my chest. I felt like it was trying to pull my soul out of my chest. I've got some stories.
Just like your ex-girlfriend.
Plenty unexplainable stuff. Yeah, you sure it wasn't your ex-girlfriend? Yeah. Sorry, we had to fuck her. By the way.
I think Johan's told us about that when we were playing Phasmophobia. He was talking about some of that.
Cool, Johan. Yeah. Email us. Like, if you guys like have stories, if you have pictures, we rely on you guys. good UFO footage, whatever, or articles about ancient technology or ancient civilizations, go ahead and email them to me or Garrett, and eventually we'll have a dedicated Forbidden Frontier email for it very soon. Very soon. But thank you guys. Thank you guys. You're awesome. Awesome. Eric K for $2. Garrett it is bull's milk. We did not milk the bull, Eric K. Okay. Although I just went back over my Harry Potter and the Chamber of Bigots, and I have no regrets like having that stream age restricted, even though it's a member stream, because I questioned the guy clearly effing a buffalo in a picture in that game. Did you ever find it?
Never.
Yep.
I've never found it.
You found it.
Where is it?
It's
Gryffindor,
somewhere in the
on the way to
castle.
the common room, somewhere in the castle.
Okay, so it's in the.
There you go, somewhere in the
Tower
castle.
area.
That's
Okay.
really good, X-Ray girl.
There's a
Castle.
sheet in front of it that you can collect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the bull is like wagging its tail. It's really happy.
Yeah, right on top of
It's
him.
really happy about it.
Really happy.
Yeah.
Sitting right on his crotch. And I'm like, what the hell?
Is the dude laying on
How
the
did
ground?
Cenk Uygur get in this game? Yeah, he's laying on the ground.
The
And
bull
the
right
bull's
on top.
like,
Yeah. It's magic.
it's a little weird. It's a little weird in a kid's game. It's a little fucking weird. Mario the Fifth. Mario or V, but I'm gonna say Mario 5.
It's just V. He's corrected me today.
He did.
It's just V.
Put a space between that, Mario.
I thought it was the fifth as well.
Yep. People are gonna say Mario the Fifth all the time. Mario, let's go. For $5. Hey Gary, saw you on the Camel Cast. Good job using chingadera correctly and knowing its definition. However, it isn't a SoCal thing, it's generally a Mexican thing. Well, okay.
Well,
You
SoCal.
didn't hear me. I said I learned it from the essays. From what's up, essay? Okay, so it's a Mexican thing.
Essays.
SoCal is Mexico.
Yeah, like what?
I learned it from all the kids I grew up with who were from Mexico. That's what I meant. It's generally a Mexican thing. It could be used by other Latin nations, but I can only speak for Mexicans. I think it's pretty much a Mexican thing.
Man, I thought you were gonna say Latinx for a
No.
split second there. I
Whoa,
thought you were
what
gonna say
the
it's
fuck?
Latinx. I was like,
No way. But thank you, Mario. Thank you, Mario.
V.
Mario V. Yeah, I learned it from I think my friend Salvador Ramirez in like the second grade.
What's a good Mexican V last name? Mexican.
Valens, Venezuela,
Valdez.
Valdez,
Oh yeah.
Valdez.
I'm gonna figure it out,
Venezuela.
Mario.
Speaking of
Balanced.
names, by the way, there's a question in the chat. We are trying to name our membership for Forbidden Frontier.
Oh yeah.
I like
Give your
travelers.
suggestions.
So like we're traveling on the Forbidden Frontier.
Yeah.
Should be one. That should be like
Travelers.
Yeah.
The Forbidden Pioneers.
The Pioneers. I'm gonna
something
take
to that.
note of all of these, and we'll have several polls to see what you guys like the most.
Ventus Bruma for $20. A decade ago, I had a friend who was a medium and she saw a ghost in MFA in Boston. I didn't believe her. So the ghost poked me in the back so hard I stumbled. It happened every time I go to that room when I visit.
Don't go to that room, dude.
Go to that room, dude.
Stop.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
Keep
Like,
messing
where's
with
that?
stuff.
I said, "Where's that room? Show me." Jesus Davila for $50. My mom told me once that when my dad was visiting Mexico, she was sleeping in a room by herself. She said something slammed the door in the middle of the night to her room. She thought it was my siblings. She said that they were fast asleep when she checked. Oh shit. That happens a lot though. GJJ for $20. Only really odd thing that happened to me is a long time ago, helping my friend put groceries away, leaving them coming back to see them all on the table again, not in the bag, just there on the table. No one was in the house. Oh yeah, you hear those stories all the time.
You got a house
that,
elf. That's what
happened,
that is.
That happened at Skinwalker Ranch too. Somebody came back, put all their food away, and all their shit was like not nicely put out, was just thrown out of the cupboard. That's like poltergeist activity. Like mischievous ghost or house elf will be book stacking and all that stuff.
Well, they do stuff for you.
Well, even like in
they cobble your shoes and stuff.
The book stacking part from Ghostbusters, that shit's been happening forever. Like that stuff's been happening forever.
There's a lot of stuff that's in the Ghostbusters that's
why
paranormal.
You want to know why Ghostbusters works and why something like Independence Day has a great speech in it, but like the aliens are kind of lame. They're kind of lame. The whole concept of it is kind of lame. And it's because Roland Emmerich came out and said, I don't believe in UFOs. I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in UFOs. And it shows. Spielberg at one time was a believer, and that's why Close Encounters has the verisimilitude. That's why Ghostbusters has the verisimilitude, because Dan Aykroyd is a believer. Yeah. So he draws on actual events, which makes it at least more fun.
Isn't his family into the occult and stuff, or what was it?
Maybe I know Dan Aykroyd, like he's gone on Joe Rogan, and like,
it's not just him; it's like his family has been into the field, kind of like the demonologist.
Yeah,
of the
yeah. No, Dan Aykroyd is a believer, and he's been on Art Bell before. Yeah,
that's what's so great about Ghostbusters is there is a lot of things in it that are reality, as in like what ghost hunters use and different aspects of ghosts mythology is like in that story, and that's why it works so well. And that's the aspect of the Ghostbusters that I don't like, whenever they go kind of more fantasy crazy. Like the second one, it goes off the rails a little bit, but that first one it's really grounded. There's a lot of stuff in that first one, like the psychic aspect that they kind of started off with and stuff like that. Like that's where I like Ghostbusters to be, is grounded.
Did you know there was a Tobin Spirit Guide role-playing game?
What?
From Ghostbusters? Yeah. Back in 1989.
That sounds like a book I don't want to read.
Oh, it's just a game. It was from the book. It's from the the Tobin Spirit Guide is based on other spirit guides, but this was a game by West End Games.
Really?
For Ghostbusters. After Ghostbusters 2, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Totally fucking awesome. I want to play that.
Spirit Guide.
I didn't know it existed. Yeah. Cool. Gray Soul for $100 had my ghost follow me for a year. At least I hope it was. She came into my dreams as my daughter. I don't have kids. She used to wake me up at 2:45 a.m. on the dot for almost a year straight. Never named her, as it would open up a can of beans that I didn't want to open. Yeah, dude.
Safe choice. That's a demon.
Oh, that's freaky. 2:45 all the time. Oh.
Yeah. Well, people wake up at 3:30. I think it's 3:30. Help me, chat. A lot of people wake up at 3:30 in the morning. Like, just wake up. And Melissa, she does it all the time.
I'm usually up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So there is a reason for that. We were back before electricity. We had to get up and stir the fire, stir the coals to keep the heat going.
Yeah.
Check the babies. So it's kind of ingrained in us. Not everybody, but it's ingrained in us.
Interesting.
Trucker Rob for $2. You're a bigot. Oh, you're a bigot, Gary. Wait, wrong show. No, I'm a bigot.
It means nothing. So yeah,
it means nothing. So yeah, call me whenever you want. That is fine. Absolutely fine. Highly recommend Two-Face the Gray by Chad Kalick, a very interesting book at Aliens in History. You can watch it on YouTube. I will check that out. It's called Two-Face the Gray. Two-Face the Gray. Write that down.
Two-Face.
Poseidon 65 for $10. Thank you. Corey Stiggin for $5. Joe Adolfi on YouTube has a good video about savants and human potential. Also, a bunch of videos about giants, pre-flood, antediluvian, and he is a
Nephilim.
creationist.
It's the Nephilim.
The Nephilim. I think
the children
there
of
might have been
men?
giants. I don't know if they were sons of Enki, which is aliens, or I don't know if they're sons of angels, or they were just
in the
bigger
Bible,
people.
In the Bible, they're called the sons of. There's two different definitions. I think the translations. It was the son of God, or no, the son of man. I think is what the Nephilim were called. Like that's where they came from. They came from the sons of man.
I don't know. I can't recall.
So,
the chat
like-
can help me with that. I think you're right.
It's in Genesis.
Sons
Sons of God.
of God,
Sons of
and
God.
then there's
And the other one was the daughters of men, I believe. I have
well,
to
the
watch
angels got down with the daughters of
documentary
men and made the Nephilim.
the angels that fell
what is
from heaven.
What is Grendel in Beowulf? He just got it on with a god and had this hideous thing. Sounds kind of Nephilim-y, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But I actually liked Robert Zemeckis' version of that movie. I thought it was really good.
The one with
Angelina Jolie
Angelina Jolie.
and
Yeah,
Ray
it was a good
Winston.
movie.
I liked
It's a
it.
good movie.
I liked it a lot.
I feel like that was when they were really starting to learn the technology of motion capture.
Yeah, it's not
and
perfect
film.
or anything, but I like the story.
I think it worked.
So yeah.
And Grendel, that fight scene's
Dude,
cool. It's a
holy
good
shit.
fight scene.
It's good. Gray Soul for $20 makes it worse when I woke up I'd hear noises in the house. Yeah, that's not comforting. It's supposed to stop when you wake up. Gray Soul. The Lost Tales for $2. QB, did you get the other Hunter in the Forest vid?
Hunter in the Forest. No,
That's Lost Tales for $2.
no.
Andreas Antonio Gonzalez Caceres for 150 Uruguayan pesos. In the Umbanda religion, we become spiritual police force to assist random people and blood relatives for centuries until we pay our karma debt. Then we ascend into clean state. Then you can be reborn. I understand that.
That's
I don't mind being a
interesting.
spiritual
Yeah.
police force to help, kind of help other people out before you get to move on.
Yeah,
Not
and they
against that.
they
I think
read
that's
you
cool.
the laws you broke. That'd suck. Have to sit there
Well,
and just listen
you
to all
get
the bad
pulled over.
things you did.
Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything can and will be used against you in the court of God. So you stole that comic book from Alpha Beta back in 1986.
No,
it's
and he
gonna
starts
be
writing
here.
it down. All right, there's another one
that's
right there.
Okay, there's another one right there. He said he didn't do it, but we saw him. Corey Stigan for $5. I read that one. Sir Marhaus for $4.99. Fight Milk is from It's Always Sunny. That's right. Charlie and Max sell it to the UFC and Cowboy. That's right.
Yeah.
And uses it to vomit to cut weight.
Oh,
I didn't want to
ew.
vomit. It is like I just bought
Fight Milk.
because they were deleting. So I found a complete DVD set of Always Sunny. I think I paid $100 for it, which is probably too much. But
No, how many seasons
dude,
did you get? Like 13
I got all of them.
seasons?
I got all of them, and now
That's a great price.
and
Then.
I have the episodes that will be deleted. So there you go. That's why I got it. I don't care if it's like
Media.
fucking 480p DVD. Don't give a shit. It's Always Sunny in
That's how they
Philadelphia.
shot it. There's no other version of that for at least the first 4 seasons.
Yeah, they're like
They shot it on old like Handycam kind of cameras.
they are erasing our history, folks. They're changing books. They're going to change Tolkien. They're going to change. They've been changed. We've been allowing this to happen for a long time, and we need to stop. Ian Fleming, I got two. I don't want to say anything. I am purchasing some old Ian Fleming books because you know what? I'm like, I don't have those. How do I not have those? I used to,
I saw Perry got a whole set.
Yep.
Man, I kind of want to Books are so good.
Yeah, I want to get an OG set though. It can't be just a set.
Yeah, the original covers, like, yeah.
So that's going to be a little harder to find. But I much prefer just digging around in a used bookstore because I promise you, the only thing that are hard to find in used bookstores now are Conan books because they're popular again. So I promise you, I can find them. Just takes time, and I like the time part. You can go on eBay and get a set right now, but that's no fun. Ventus Bruma for $20. I don't know. I don't go there anymore as my back is always cold for hours afterwards. It was one of the Egyptian rooms. The ghost is attached to a mummy there. He said he was generally pretty chill, but not my not believing just annoyed him. Okay. Why don't you just move the fuck on and stop fucking with people? That would be my hey, mummy, don't you want to go see your loved ones? Do you like just poking strangers in the back? I mean, is that satisfying for you for all of eternity? Sentinel Rex for $20. Angels do not marry and are or are they given in marriage? They do not have offspring. The sons of God are the saved, and the daughters of men are the unsaved, all human. God finds union of saved and unsaved abominable. I'm just going off of what I hear from the Nephilim are the product. So that's probably what they're doing is conflating lore there, Sentinel Rex. But the Nephilim were supposed to be, I thought they were supposed to be the daughters, the sons of
fallen angels.
Of fallen angels.
Yeah.
But the giants are also, there's lore that actually predates the Bible that's Sumerian that kind of has something very similar. So and there's all mythology has giants. So including the story of our good friend Noah, the biblical flood has its origins. Don't get mad at me. Okay, but it's got its origins in Sumerian text. So and it's very similar to about 200 more cultures that have a flood myth, to varying degrees, but it's usually somebody with prior knowledge builds a ship or a boat or digs tunnels and saves animals, and some of it's either his close friends or family, and then the flood comes, and then the period of time, it goes anywhere from 3 years to Gilgamesh, 40 days 40 nights, a year, 3 years, that varies. But there's also other similarities, like in Noah's Ark, there was something that illuminated the ark that wasn't a sunlight. There was a window, right? But it wasn't sunlight. And there was another, I forgot what it was. There's another, I was just listening to it in Graham Hancock's book, but there's another one. Oh, it's the tunneling. The tunneling they did. There was they called it a window, but it projected light, but it was called unnatural light or something like that. So basically it was a fucking light. It was an electric light.
Yeah.
Or powered by crystals or whatever the fuck it was back then. But, and there are tons of stories of self-illuminated rooms, because they didn't have a word for, I forgot what the term was, but a torch that doesn't extinguish, that's kind of what they called them. So there's tons of similarities, but maybe I conflated that or something like that. I don't know. You, me, and the movies, $20. A few weeks ago, around 3 a.m., my wife's bedside lamp turned on. It's connected to a clapper. My wife heard 2 claps that woke her up before the light turned on. Her father passed in the house about 1.5 years ago. Holy shit. See, if I wanted to fuck with somebody, though, and I was dead, that's what I would do. I'd be all...
Look at him freak out.
I know. Look at her get all freaked out. Look at her miss me. She knows it's me. But that's the only way you can get attention, right? It's the only way you can get attention. Mac N for $19.99. I never saw any spirits, but I think I felt their presence, especially after especially after my mom passed. She would show up in my dreams if I fell asleep in the chair, and where she died in the living room. Oh, wow. What's she trying to tell you? That's what you got to ask.
Don't sit in that chair. That's my chair.
Azure Kite 360 for $10. Check out my ghost. Gary, check out Ghosts of Carmel, Maine on YouTube. The channel owner Kent has caught some seriously creepy shadow people on the camera. I will check. It's called Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. Okay. Potato Radio for $10. Hail. On Friday Night Tights, y'all talked about amusement parks with Shad. Crossover. Look up the Luna Park Demon Ghost Train Fire in Sydney, 1979, who led pagan dancers is creepy. Supposedly cops covered up witnesses. All right.
Sydney Ghost Train Fire, 1979.
Potato Radio for $2. Cowman Demon who led dancers. Gotcha. Andrew Matthews for £6 British pounds. I have heard of a bloody thirsty Asian who attacked a woman with a bloodthirsty Asian who attacked a woman with an axe. Then an eagle flew off with the head. No shit. What?
That happened in Sons of the Forest.
Oh, it did?
We played. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It was, I was like, I'll help save you.
I was like, whoa, what is the story? Wait.
Thanks, Andrew.
Gabriel Knight for $49.99. Shad, why does it say Shad?
That's for next week. Don't worry about that one.
Okay, I was like, Shad. Fuck Shad. No.
Shad.
No Face, $9.99. Hail, Gary, X-Ray Girl, and QBG. Hey, QBG, can you show Gary the wiki for Demaxian map, particularly the 5th one showing human migration over millennia? Interesting way to view the world.
Maxian map? Wiki.
Gary's beard crabs for $10. They're dormant right now. There is a theory that the certain frequencies can cause mild hallucinations, and those frequencies can be produced by large HVAC systems, which is why there are so many ghost sightings in hospitals. It sounds good.
I was in projection. The HVAC system was right above there. Hey, maybe.
Maybe.
My brain.
Zachariah Nunez for $2. Spooky. Yeah, spooky. Telly for $4.99. Nerdrotic, could you please review the new season of Picard? Please. I have on this very channel, Telly.
Go to the main channel, hit live. It's down there.
Yeah, so I did the first episode on the main channel. I did the second and third episode on this channel. So yeah, just go to the live part, scroll down, and you'll see it. Will I do a full video review? Yes, I will. But that's when the season's over. I'm liking it. Warmonger for $9.99. Check out Adam Blau. Is a Catholic Church decreed expert on religious demonology and exorcism. And it's B-L-A-I. Adam Blay. David Nelson for $1.99. Do you have a Leonardo da Vinci action figure? I don't. That'd be kind of cool though. Historic figures.
Alexander the Great would be cool. Yeah, I never thought about that. That'd be kind of cool. I at you on Twitter with link. QB says Lost Tales for $2. Sentinel Rex for $10. Ghosts are demons pretending to be souls of the dead. Once a person dies, their soul existence is either destroyed or passes to heaven, where there is no memory of their return. Gabriel Knight for $4.99. Not technically ghost related, but I had a grandmother who had a weird sixth sense. She got these premonitions before a family member got sick or injured. I think what can be interpreted, you could still call them demons. But the more we get, the more real research is done with the ayahuasca and people like experiencing the same things. That's fucking weird. So that is the brain specifically using a chemical to tune in to a certain frequency, and you're seeing the same things. Like, that is nutty. And interacting with this, like, you're not just seeing the same patterns. Like, that could be scientifically explainable. Like, this chemical will make you see, like, those 90s pictures that, like, that's what it fucking looks like, right? Well, it's like shrooms. People
Yes.
take shrooms, people go on trips, but they're not all the same. They have similar like effects. They feel the same, but
Similar
they're not
effects.
experiencing the same thing.
But
Whenever they do that and they have the pineal gland goes off and they get more of that chemical, they go to the same place and talk to the same type
place
people
and talk to the machine elves,
The
which could be interpreted as
interdimensional
demons. We don't know they're good. We don't know they're bad. We don't know anything.
That stuff creeps me out.
Yeah, it does. Hey, X-Ray and Garrett, I watched you play the game with Az for a couple hours today. Says Malarkey for $9.99.
Thank
Hey,
you.
more
the reticent
malarkey.
voice for $10. Corey Taylor, lead singer of Slipknot, wrote a book about ghost encounters called "A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Heaven," and he reads the Audible book. I highly recommend
Really?
it for ghost stories. I'll definitely.
That sounds awesome.
Christian Wolf for $1.99. Did any of these encounters have you catatonic? Oh, catatonic ghost cat. Catatonic. Andre Antonio Gonzalez Gonzalez for 150 Uruguayan pesos. In Umbanda, if you have a half unit, a medium, I can make a joke there, Andre.
You get it.
You can train yourself to let one of your protector spirits to possess you for a short time to heal and assist people on spiritual meetings in your temple. That's cool.
That sounds cool, but I'm not.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Possessed.
okay, if they possess you, do they get access to all your memories and everything you did?
Yeah, and do I get to kick them back out?
There's no. Jacob Babrick for $5. We went outside. We look up. We saw a massive ring of red lights, and they were clearly rotating last 10 minutes. Then it just vanished as we stared. I want to see UFO so bad. And they're easier to see here in Texas than California because there ain't no mountains anywhere.
Yeah,
it's all
big flat
fucking
land.
flat. And a lot of like classic UFO stuff has happened here. Stephenville being one of them. US Dutch Kitty, what's up? For $9.99. If you have 3 hours, the Warren Museum finally let a ghost team investigate the night they had to move the Annabelle doll into its original case, the Overnight Channel, the case made by Ed Warren. Maybe, yeah, I will.
I watched a video where she went through, she was showing a news crew, or I guess a small crew, and they were recording it. She was talking about it, and she was like, and there's Annabelle. I'm not going to look at her because she's caused too much trouble. I will not even look at her. You can record her, but I'm not looking.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, yeah, I don't want to look at that. Too many things. They have like priests go in there and like say prayers every once in a while just to like, kind of clear it. I'm like, why? Okay, if you're going around, you're finding a lot of evil things. Why would you put it all in one spot?
I would say
that's
the
the worst
doll,
idea.
just set it on fire.
Just
Can't we
get
burn
it
it?
away.
Can we just burn it?
Wait, don't burn it, because if you burn it, it may be like
It releases it?
it could be some kind of cage for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
You may be
never know.
causing more problem.
Scientists are dogmatic.
Oh.
Yes, they are. They are. They are. That's true. That's true.
Neil.
Neil Horn for $10. Hail Forbidden Frontier. Do you guys remember In Search of? Dude, I have the
Oh, yeah.
entire series
In
on
Search of.
DVD. I bought it for $40 about 3 years ago. You can still get it, the entire series, for like, well, I don't know if it's $40 still, but I got it for $40. With Leonard Nimoy, will love watching that show when I was a kid. I did. That's what started this whole thing, was fucking In Search of.
Amazon.
Agamemnon.
$70.
70. Dude, that's a bargain. That's a
You get
fucking bargain.
145 episodes.
145 episodes for $70. Buy it now. Buy it now. Off top. By the way, the climate change stuff is pretty funny. It's like the world will freeze over by 1982.
There's
You're like,
another edition that's only $25. So I
Is it
think
the
the
same
other
one?
one is like an older version of it. They're both complete editions, but I think this one's just an older like a collector's one. So that
There you
one's
go.
70, only $25.
Get it? No. Off topic. Do you have any? As a matter of fact, aren't they free on YouTube? But I would still buy the physical media. Do you have? I mean, we should totally. If they're free on YouTube, we should go over an episode. We should totally
Yeah.
go over an episode. Do you have any book recommendations that were written by Robert Schock? I'm buying most of Graham's works. Yes. Give me just a moment. and I will give them to you right now. I just want to get the proper titles. Boop, 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 boop. I am currently listening to an older book, The Technology of the Gods, The Incredible Science of the Ancients by David Hatcher Childress, but you want Robert Schoch. Robert Schoch has 2 books on Audible. Robert, nope, that's not how you spell his last name. Robert Schoch.
By the way, there is a poll to name the membership. There's going to be 2 rounds and then a final round.
Okay.
Ooh, we're going to go vote.
So here are the 2 books by Robert Schoch, PhD, and that's spelled SCHOCH. He's been on Joe Rogan. He has an alternative theory to the cataclysm than Graham Hancock, which is just as scary, if not a little scarier, I think.
Yeah, it's a little scarier.
Forgotten Civilization is the latest one that's on Audible, and Origins of the Sphinx. So Forgotten Civilization, Origin of the Sphinx. He is a bit of an expert on Easter Island too. Easter Island. Okay.
I like Searchers too. That's a good one.
Yeah. Cleric Call for 10 Canadian pesos. We got saved from the Vogon construction fleet because their infrastructure funds were assigned to Vogon gender study and poetry.
We're run by Vogons, man.
Oh God, Douglas Adams were alive today. He died. I'm older than Douglas Adams ever got.
That is so sad, man.
Sad. Shane Horton for $5. Check this out for an interesting read. I live here. Search Mounds of Mysteries. Star Beacon. It ties into my story about W/E I saw when I was 9.
Whatever I saw.
Whatever I saw. Okay, when I was 9. So Mounds of Mystery, Star Beacon. Okay. You know, I was looking into mounds that they're kept secret. So when I was young, nobody taught us about mounds in the U.S. Nobody. Fucking nobody. So I learned about it later.
I didn't know about them until we started getting more
Millions
into this. I didn't know.
have been destroyed. So there's still some left. And you think about it, you're like, there's got to be places that are protected and stuff that they still exist, and people and guess what? There's tons.
Good.
But they will not divulge the location. And I think that's good. But yeah, there's a lot of mounds that haven't been touched because they are in the middle of a forest and people just like, no.
Good.
Good. Yeah, I'm kind of glad. Although I'd really like them to find some Clovis bones. I'd love to see what those people look like. I wonder if they were big boned, if you know what I'm saying. David Nelson, $4.99. Did you see the last episode of Weaponized with Jeremy Corbell? It was had a great guest on. I did not. I only watched the first 2. I will watch it tomorrow, probably. Kyle Brokaw for $10. Y'all need to go to St. Augustine for some ghost stuff. Where's St. Augustine?
St. Augustine.
James Esparza for $5. Check out America's Untold Stories episode of Amityville Horror. The co-host went to school with Ronnie Jr. He breaks down the story like few ever heard. Yeah, the people who lived, whether they were real or not, the people who lived in the house, the Amityville house, they moved after that incident. They moved to La Costa, California, where I lived.
Really?
Yes. I never met them or anything, but everybody knew they lived there. John Cunningham for $10. If you all want to do a Halloween special, grab Odin and come to Northwest Central West Louisiana. I'll show you some old rural graveyards. Not at night, though. Never at night.
Oh, come on.
Next level scary. Got to be at night. And Odin, like I'll go. Well, if Odin will go, Odin sometimes doesn't.
I don't think he'll go.
I don't think he'll go.
No,
but Odin has.
He's got like a rosary. We need Odin to go.
No, but he's got the anxiety thing around people. So
yeah, but it's just ghosts.
Yeah, these aren't alive people, Odin. Yeah. Crash 6674 for $5. You speaking of Vikings and Indians, check out the Vineland Saga anime. Shite is dope. gives a taste of the absolute brutal that people went through. Yes. Card player, $13.99 Canadian. Lived in a haunted apartment with some friends one morning. I'm getting ready for work. It took a leak beside me. The lid stayed down, but I could hear the stream, and then it flushed. What? It took a phantom piss.
That is
funny.
so weird.
I think somebody's just peeing in your bathroom.
How come I get this ghost experience? I don't get the poking on the shoulder or some weird whispery or whatever. No, I get some guy taking a fucking piss. What?
Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Did he die? He must have died. He must have drank, died in his sleep, and then he keeps waking up to take a piss. That's my theory on that. Daniel Rude for $5. My uncle worked on the power for the power company during a solar storm. Their electrical equipment would throw off ball lightning. They didn't know how though. It's weird. Mac N for $9.99. There was a shadow man in my old school auditorium who stayed on the stage. He had a top hat. He had a top hat, and from the stories that a bunch of girls I knew, the entity would try to harm girls exclusively. Maybe it was Mr. Dark. Mr. Dark, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you guys didn't read the story, did you?
What's Mr. Dark?
You don't know what Mr. Dark is? Chat. I know you don't know, X-Ray Girl. Something wicked this way comes. Ray Bradbury story. It's fucking awesome.
I don't know that story.
They made a movie on it.
Into the devil?
A carnival that comes to town and steals souls.
That sounds really creepy.
It is.
I don't like
story on my list that I need to read.
Dude, it's like a kid's story. It's like old school. It's Ray Bradbury. I believe the Warrens are telling the truth. I have to warn people not to ghost hunt. The paranormal can be dangerous. Look what happened to Zach Baggins. What happened to Zach Baggins?
Who's Zach Baggins?
Who's Zach Baggins? Is that Bilbo's cousin?
Oh, he is a paranormal investigator. Let's see, career. Where's his death? I don't know.
It might be a movie reference to somebody's.
He's
just
not. He's
fucking with
alive.
us.
He's alive.
Oh,
C.D. Stein. Well, is he crazy? I don't know.
maybe.
For possession stories, look up St. Louis, 1949. The Exorcist was inspired. Yes, I know this one. By actual events. After the events, kid became a NASA scientist. Said C.D. Stein, 69 for $4.99. Is that like Alex Stein? Prime time 99. A pimp on blimp. He asked me to go on a show, and then I haven't heard from him. So I'm like, yeah, you know. It's, Expedition Bigfoot. They saw a shadow running when flashlight shined on it. No figure visible. Then disappeared on camera. Good show too. Expedition Bigfoot. I'll check it out. Joseph Benowitz. Thank you for the $5. Casey Greger for $5. Seen enough Stargate to know that all ETs out there, to know not all ETs out there are peaceful. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Hayden, 75 for $10. Ghosts, especially if they're like insectoid, right? If they're evolved insectoids, they're not gonna feel the same way we do about things, you know.
What if it's like Ender's Game and we think that they're evil, but they're really not evil? We're just like, ooh, gross bug, kill. I mean, I understand. If I saw a giant bug, I'd kill it. No question.
Hayden, 75 for $10. Ghost of Carmel, Maine is a great channel. The channel Seriously Haunted is good too. Both are guys actively monitoring their houses being haunted. SH has something trying to get him, it seems. Huh. I'll check it out, Hayden. Bubba Doom for $1. Bubba Doom 1 for $5. Sorry. You know how you know Nori's pizza roll story, right? Please get John B. Wells on. He is awesome. He needs to do more paranormal. Yeah, I think he got like John B. Wells started doing more political stuff. He did paranormal stuff in the early days because I signed up to Caravan in the Midnight. Like I was one of the first people to sign up for it, Bubba Doom. Because I was pissed because I was like, I listen to that guy all the time, and all of a sudden he's like just not on anymore. And then he did a show like, no, I got fucked over. Like look, find the early. I don't know if you can find the early shows for Caravan to Midnight, but like he rips fucking Jordan Murray, a new one. Remember
so Zach Baggins, apparently he lost part of his eyesight investigating the demon house in Indiana. Thank you, Rumble.
Was he looking through the?
Oh my God, that's scary.
Yeah, don't fuck around. You might find out.
Demons.
Oh, that's right. Art picked Ian Punnett. I remember Ian Punnett, who was really good, but he ended up getting bad tinnitus and couldn't work at radio anymore. Now, it wasn't Ian Punnett. It was another guy. Ian Punnett would come in. Ian Punnett was kind of annoying though, because he was way too much of a skeptic. Yeah, but he got like bad tinnitus. Yeah.
Tinnitus sucks.
But there was another guy who did it for like about a year, half a year. And then Art came back, and then George came in, and people thought George was fine. But then you found out, like, upon further review, he was kind of a fraud. Mr. Wolverine 007 for $10. Remember Encounters with the Unexplained, hosted by Jeremy Orbach? I find it curious that the show isn't available anywhere. I watched it when it was shown on old PAX Network. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. The PAX Network. What the hell happened to that? When I was about 6 years old, my family it wasn't Ian Punnett in like Minnesota or something like that. Yeah, he was a younger guy. But he would be too abrasive with the guests. Like he'd get argumentative. That fucking annoyed me. My grandparents in rural northern Arkansas, I was out in the yard by myself. I see a big black triangular object fly over without making a sound. Never saw it again. The triangle. Oh, that was part 2. Where's part 1? Okay. Told my parents where I said and they said I imagined it. The stealth bomber was announced a year or so later. Thought it was the bomber for a year until recently. Yeah.
So it wasn't the bomber?
It wasn't the bomber. I saw the stealth bomber. I saw the stealth fighter before they announced the stealth bomber. All right. So they had, because remember the stealth fighters were supposed to come after it. Bullshit. One flew right over San Diego. Dude, we were driving, and this V-shaped thing, it was making noise. It was a jet. Yeah. Clearly a jet. Just goes, and like people pulled over and said, what the fuck was that? It was clearly one of ours, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, I think one guy said, sound of freedom, baby.
That's the sound of freedom.
But, we were near, I lived near Miramar. So.
A lot of testing.
Richard Enormous for 5 Canadian pesos. Watching the X-Files for the first time, the smoking man is the most important thing anyone needs to remember from that show. The most realistic part. Yep. Mark of Reality for $5. Jordan Sather, he's on the R video hosting site, banned by YouTube and kicked out of the corporate paranormal crowd. He knows a lot. Why did he get kicked out? Because they're corporate fucking sellouts. Just remembered, this is a highway old going to Freeport in Texas, is supposed to be haunted. Been on it, was just creepy. So just remember, this is a highway old going to Freeport in Texas.
Where's
is that
Freeport,
what you're on
Texas?
Right now? Freeport. GJJ, $20. Thank you. Shadow Knight for $5. Did you hear about the LGBTQ plus representation in Shazam 2? And one of the Shazamily is gay in their adult form. Yep. They did that in the first movie, I think. Did they not?
They implied the fat kid was gay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Zach did a doc demon house about a house with a portal to hell. He got his eyes permanently damaged, and an assistant went mad for life. Another person got sick and died before the doc was out. No shit.
That's the demon house.
That is
Andre
freaking
Antonio
creepy.
Gonzalez. Thank you for the 150 Uruguayan pesos. I want to see the doc now. Is the doc out? Southeastern Kaiju for $5. What's keeping us all from pulling a Thanos and figuring this UFO stuff out ourselves? The elites aren't smarter than you or I or any of us. No, they have more resources. That's the thing.
Yeah,
All
they have
money,
more money.
control. They're not smarter than us. Bobcat, $5. You got to get Wendigoon on the talk show about Nephilim and the Giants. Okay.
I would love
He's
to have
on the
Wendigoon
list.
on.
Yep.
On the list.
Alun
Absolutely
Reeves for
love that.
5 British pounds. At 10, my arms and legs were held down and I couldn't move. I looked in the corner of my bedroom. A black orb was
Ooh,
moving around. It then released me.
that's creepy.
That's fucking creepy. Yeah, that won't affect your childhood at all. You won't be sleeping with mom and dad, even if you're 10.
Your
You're like, fuck
entire
this
life.
shit. I don't care. Basil, 578 for $10. Movie was called Something Wicked This Way Comes. Yes, it was. Good names for fans of the show: Hitchhiker, or better yet, Pilgrims, or The Pilgrimage for Truth, Self-Enlightenment and Understanding. Yep, Something Wicked This Way Comes. Good movie. Joe McGinnis for $10. Scariest ghost moment for me was at my high school auditorium after closing up, prepping for a play. A woman who died had a plaque. All the lights went out except flickering light above the plaque. She just wanted some recognition
Look at me.
once in her death. Instead
Don't
of once
forget
in her
me.
life. Once in her life. See how I did that? Once in her death instead of once in her life. Coali for $10. My computer screen started playing Rings of Power. Worst haunting that ever happened to me. I am haunted still.
Bro, me too.
Ryumple for $5. Yeah, I know. You had to edit that stuff. Moving to Saigon, where the Mongolia Hotel is. If you ever want to hunt, I've got the gear.
Oh yeah, he's in my my locals chat. He's got all the gear. He's telling. He's like, let's go.
I think
He's who told me about Zach Baggins.
the gear I want is for UFO hunting, and I think we'll get some before we go to contact, because you and I will go spend a night up in Joshua Tree away from the lights, where you will just see all the stars in the world. Hope it should be clear.
You gotta see some UFOs up there.
And we'll go UFO hunting, or we'll go chupacabra hunting. One of the two, or both.
We gotta eat lunch.
We got to eat lunch. I like this. The name is Jose A, like Jose, but it's H-O-S-E-A for $1.99. Remember Unsolved Mysteries when they did Supernatural? I did. Lancer 737 for $5. I survived a reality hostel haunting. Can I email you an unlisted YouTube video with me talking about it? My email is stormtrooper like example BQ295. Yeah, Gary at nerdrotic.com. Shoot me an email, please. Fuck yeah. Kyle Brokaw, $5. St. Augustine is in Florida, the oldest city in the USA. Well, I'm obviously an idiot who's been kicked out of 3 high schools, Kyle. Is it the oldest city in the USA?
USA?
No shit.
Florida?
Really?
I don't know if that's accurate.
I'm Googling it right now. Yeah, it is.
Florida? Really?
Founded September 1565 by Don
Wow.
Pedro Menendez de Aviles.
When was San Diego founded? Because it was founded in the 1500s, but I guess technically it wasn't USA.
San Diego, established July 16th, 1769.
It was founded way before that, though.
Didn't know that.
Probably founded way before that.
That's cool. I would have thought it would have been more north, where the colonies were.
When did they? Maybe not. Maybe that's when they put the mission there.
It was like
Whenever they put the
Spanish
mission there,
colony instead of a British colony.
Yep. But that's fucking old. St. Augustine, Florida. Okay. So we are. That's it. Yeah, that's the show. I'm gonna go. It's actually movie night, so I'm gonna go watch.
What are you gonna watch?
Beyond Thunderdome with Logan before he goes to bed for school.
Nice.
I promised him I watch this movie, and then I'm gonna watch probably Skinwalker Ranch while I dick around and try to figure out what number 3 is for my top 5. Well, I know what it is. I already know the top 5. Whatever top 5 we're speaking of. I know what it is.
Present it though.
How am I going to present it? That's the problem.
You'll have to find out
Well,
when the video comes out.
Yeah, because I've got like 2 or 3 minutes to make my point. It's like I got to channel my inner drinker, which I don't have.
You shouldn't have.
Well, no, I mean, not for drinking, and I don't have the talent that Will has. So, yeah. But we'll see. Thanks everyone. Adam should be back next week. He was a little sick. He was a little sick.
Yeah.
So he's taking
You mean
the
gay?
night off.
Is that what you mean?
Super gay, little sick. Super
gay.
but a little sick. Garrett, what you got coming up?
Tomorrow I've got Bay Staff Monday with Adam, unless he's still sick.
He's
and
gonna
gay.
be fucking fine tomorrow. It's kind of like
He's
Jeremy's like, I can't make Friday Night Tights, but then there's the fucking Cobra Cast an hour later. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, okay.
I know, he was
So
driving.
we'll see if he
driving.
feels
It's all good.
okay. We'll see if he's okay, and we'll see you over there. And if not, I'm gonna play some Sons of the Forest tomorrow. I'm gonna play it tomorrow with
I'm gonna play some
Shagsworth
Sons of
Nice.
Bitches. No, just kidding.
and probably some more Hogwarts, because I haven't beat it yet because I have 4 kids, so I'm still playing it.
You have 4 kids.
Yeah,
I have,
you know.
Well, basically 1. I mean, another one lives here, but he's an adult.
around. Yeah,
I don't give a shit what he does.
don't care what he's doing.
I don't care what he's doing. I
No
don't wanna
excuses. Yeah, you're right.
know. But my wife's gone, dude.
Oh yeah,
So when the wife's gone, I gotta do things.
gotta do things, man.
Gotta do things. So yeah.
Az is still playing. Maybe we'll just go play some more Sons of the Forest.
Hey,
Is
I
he
would
playing
if
right
I
now?
could. Yeah.
He's still streaming
He's
right
been
now.
playing since we started playing.
Yeah, he didn't stop.
I don't think Az has stopped playing video games in the last 5 months. Like he started streaming, like he took a little while off, started making videos again, and then he just started fucking streaming video games, and he has not stopped for 5 months.
Oh my
Hey.
god.
He's got to do it. What you got to do?
Got to do what you got to do.
But that's
do you
what
got
I'm
coming-
doing.
That's what you're doing. Right on. X-Ray Girl, what you got coming up?
Well, anime Attack on Titan is back. So on Mark the Cyborg's channel, we are going to be
2
talking
episodes,
about
right?
the episodes. I'm so excited. Hopefully this is the actual finale, but you know,
There's one
Part-
more. There's one more.
another part 3, or is this part 2, part 3? I don't know.
It's the last. It's the penultimate episode.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
it confuses
keeps
me. Just
going,
make them separate seasons. I don't understand why you can't just say it's season 5, 6, 7. Anywho, so that'll be exciting. Sons of the Forest at some point. We have semi plans to play this together during the week.
Mhm.
I'm gonna finish Hogwarts Legacy, and we do have 3 more super chats. Do you want me
Okay.
to read them, or do you?
Yeah, read them.
Okay, we got Andres Antonio Gonzalez Carceres for 75 Uruguayan pesos. Demon House came out 2018, is charged with negative energies. My hard disk died when I play it years ago. Zach
Oh,
tore down
no.
the house and now is a Satan shrine. Oh my god, that's so creepy.
No, what?
I'll
That
just
sounds
play it on a
worse.
computer I don't like. I'll play it on my monitor in here and
Wow.
one of my monitors.
That's really creepy. James L. Fowler for $5. The answer is 42 Gary. Oh, go
Yep.
check your P.O. box. I sent you some stuff.
It's always 42.
Oh,
Um,
I know what I've got to show that off.
Oh,
He sent me
Okay.
the OG Hitchhiker game,
What? The
oh.
DOS game?
the DOS game. Yeah,
Nice. You
it's
got to
fucking
figure out how to
rad.
play it.
I think Melissa put it on Instagram. If she hasn't, she's going to.
That's awesome.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's gonna have a prominent place in this office, dude. I remember playing that game. That's you look at that, you're like, this is like one of the first video games, like legit one of the first. And holy shit, it's awesome. Packaging's awesome on it. It's beautiful. It looks
Is it?
so
I bet it is.
1979, 1980. I'll take good pictures of it. Thank you. You're awesome, by the way. And that's not the only thing, too.
And we have Blue Waffle for $10. He also had drunk 3PO's picture in his
Oh, you
little
did?
icon. Yep. Saw a boomerang shaped copper colored UFO in Del Mar years ago. No sound, no lights, maybe 200 feet above me. Going
Holy
south,
shit.
maybe 20 to 30 miles per hour. Only saw it because street lights lit the ship's bottom.
Wow.
Damn.
That's close.
That's wow. Wow. And then
Crazy.
we have one more that just came in. You guys are insane, by
Yeah.
the way. Philip Andrew Lobb for 10 Canadian dollars. Looking toward Polaris this summer, seeing a bright object at night in the northern sky that moves toward the Milky Way. The light only lasts a few seconds, makes no noise, and has no red or green lights.
So it's not the comet, which I think is gone already. The green comet. Weird.
Oh my gosh. And one more, the Happy Plague Doctor for $10.
Happy Plague Doctor.
What's up?
Sergeant Tompkins secured the entrance to the Hollow Earth single-handedly.
We have to do a Hollow Earth.
Oh, yeah.
episode.
I love the Hollow Earth, Antarctica. Yeah, we
Hollow
we're
Earth.
talk
gonna-
about that
We're gonna do it all. All right, gotta call it. Gotta go watch.
Got work to do.
Well, I've got work to do, but I've got to spend a couple hours with my boy. So
that's
thanks everyone, and thanks Garrett and X-Ray Girl, and of course thanks for nothing, Adam Crigler, for getting sick. No, pussy. No, I'm just kidding. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. You'll see me again tomorrow.
No, I think
No,
it's
Real
BBC's
on my channel,
yeah.
so it's not tomorrow. So Real BBC with Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash. And we're gonna just freaking geek out about comic books for about 3 hours. Let's do it. I'm so excited. I've got my gold key Star Treks I'm gonna bag. Found them. I thought I had the full set. I don't.
You don't have the full set?
I don't, but that's okay. I'm like, oh, good. I get to go comic shopping. Yay. But yeah, I'm like all energized because I got like a decent Star Trek show, and now I'm like,
energized.
I watched all the Star Trek. I know, energized. You like that?
That was good there.
I'm all engaged with Star Trek. I'm energized. I'm making it so. I'm so excited about it. I really am. I can't wait to make a video. I don't give a shit if nobody watches it. I freaking love Shaw. Wait, guys. Episode 4 and 5. Episode 5. Whoa. Episode 5. And it's not like this big bombastic action thingy, although there's some of that in there. No, it's character moments. There's in the next 2 episodes, you get like 2 fucking fantastic character moments. Long overdue.
Like decades.
So decades. So thanks everyone for supporting this show. This will be my retirement show. This will be the one I do until I die. So this is the beginning, the very humble beginnings of it. Thanks, Garrett, again, and X-Ray Girl. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.